This is a cult that wants you dead. These people don't care about you. These people don't care about your health. They want to keep you down with them.
Wait, so when you say overweight,
Oh my God, I can't stand this bitch. Over the weight that's healthy for your body size and your frame and your joints and your knee cartilage and your tendons, over that weight. Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Melina, formerly fat, currently fed up, and yes, I have my cat ear Christmas tree back on. I have been sent this video no less than 30 times. Skinny women versus plus size women, the bridge. This is done by the Dr. Daff show. I have covered a few episodes on her channel before and I enjoy doing them. Very quickly before we get started, all of my merch is 25% off if you use code HOLIDAY25 through the end of the year. You can see some of my stickers and magnets up there. I have my Christmas stickers and magnets. I do still have a few of those available if you wanted to grab those. I have mugs, I have notebooks, I have hats, and I have my 30-day habit tracker, which gives you access to my private Discord where you are alongside other people on either your fat loss journey, your weight gain journey, or your journey of just being happy and healthier. All that being said, we're going to jump right into this. I don't have much else to say. This will be a normal reaction. One, I have not watched this yet at all. Two, it will also be a debunking style video. So I have my laptop. Hello. I have it right here so I can easily go here, look things up, so I'm not having to go back and forth. Before we get started, please make sure you are subscribed. I would love to hit 45,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That would mean the absolute world to me. I do plan on doing a big giveaway once I hit 50,000 subscribers. I'm coming up on my 1 year YouTube anniversary. Oh, we're just a little baby. I'm like a little toddler. So that would be lovely. Over half of my audience is not subscribed. So go ahead, check the subscribe button. Just look at it. I know you like watching me. You keep coming back. I see. I look at my analytics. You keep coming back. Let me turn my Christmas lights on right here. And like I always say, I'm here to encourage people, mostly women, but of course I know men watch me. You are allowed here. But my goal is to convince women to eat enough protein, eat enough fiber, lift weights, and be in a healthy body size. That's it. I do not fall in line, obviously, with fat acceptance. I consider myself a fat acceptance destroyer. Someone said I'm forming the anti-fat acceptance Avengers because I keep going live with other anti-fat acceptance creators. And yeah, I like it. It's fun. But I also do not side with the skinny spectrum because I believe women, again, should be strong. Women need to lift, and we will most likely get into the reasons why in this video. So sit back, relax. This video will be long. Her video is an hour long. I imagine this will be even longer. Good luck editing, Melina. Grab your 0 to low calorie drinks. I have my limoncello LaCroix, which is arguably the best flavor. Argue with me in the comments. Tell me down below what is your favorite flavor, or what I was right by the mic, sorry. Or what your favorite brand is. Cheers. This is how I'm choosing to spend my Friday night, by the way. I was going to do it live, but I do want this to be more or less a debunking video also, and I want to put up sources on the screen while I'm editing, so I decided just to do it that way. The way I'm going to respond to this, because she does ask a question and then they hold up a thumbs up or a thumbs down, so for the vast majority of the questions I will answer how I feel, and then I will also be interjecting in between each person. Sorry if you don't like that, but I am a commentary / reaction channel, and that is what we do. If you don't want to hear my commentary or my reaction, you are more than welcome to watch the original video.
today on The Bridge, we're bringing together women with very different relationships to their bodies. Skinny women and plus size women. They're here to talk openly about confidence, judgment, beauty standards, and the pressures that they face from society. Our goal isn't to decide who has it easier or harder, but to understand the experiences behind each perspective. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Daff. Welcome to The Bridge.
Hey ladies, my name is Jen Garcia, and you can follow me at Follow Jen Garcia, and I'm happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Ashe Simone, A-S-E. That's how you spell my first name.
Hello, ladies. My name is Amaya Brannigan. It's nice to meet you. Can't wait to engage in conversation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kitty Bay. I make music. I guess if we're talking about our Instagram, my Instagram is the homegirl and then 2 underscores. So.
Hi, I'm Haley Herms.
Marcy Guevara, Preet.
Hi, I'm Kathy Deach.
Hi, I'm Christina Williams, also known as the Kirby Cutie.
Thank you, ladies.
Hi, I'm Melina, otherwise known as Honey Bison. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm very active there.
And the first prompt today is, my body size is a major part of my identity.
Oh, this one, that's a rough one. So you can't put yes and no. My answer is a yes and a no. I wouldn't say my body size is necessarily a big part of my identity. However, the things that are a big part of my identity are the things that make up why my body looks the way that it does. If you're not aware, I was class 1 obese. My BMI was over 30. I rapidly gained over 50 pounds in less than a year back in 2017 into 2018. And I stayed that way up until 2020. And then I lost the weight in 2020, started lifting in 2021 consistently. I used to lift in high school and stuff in the Marine Corps, and I have been lifting ever since. So my body is something that I am proud of because I have put in literal blood, sweat, and tears for many, many, many years to have the body that I have. The body that I have has been earned through my hard work and my grit, my perseverance, and my discipline. Am I saying my body is my identity? No. But what I am saying is who I am. I am someone who values her health. I am someone who values eating primarily whole foods, not the grocery store, but whole foods meaning single ingredient / minimally processed foods. So I eat that 80/20, 90/10. I am someone who values exercise. I am someone who values building muscle, building bone density, maintaining bone density. I am someone who values my cardiovascular health. Heart disease runs in my family. Obesity runs in my family. It ran in my family until it ran into me. I value recovery. I value sleep. I am someone who values sleep. I am someone who values recovery. So tying your identity to these things who you are. I am healthy. I am someone who exercises and eats well. That is what my identity is tied to. And because I do those things, that is why I look the way that I do. So that's why I answer this yes and no, because again, it's not just like, oh, my body, but it's the habits and the discipline that I have, the things that I do that create my body.
I feel like when I think about myself as a person, I don't think about my size, but I think how much other people think about it and discuss it affects me. So I wouldn't say I personally agree, but when I think about how I go about in the world, then I definitely agree that it becomes a big part of my identity.
Are these people that are strangers or people who know you personally?
Everyone. I've had people, random people I don't know, come up to me in like CVS. Mostly growing up, it was my own family. But as I got older, it definitely wandered in just publicly, even not on the internet. On the internet, I kind of expect it. But yeah, I've had random people approach me and members of my family.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Also, I want to know, I know Dr. Daff is very kind with the titling of her videos, and this is not skinny versus plus size. I would not consider the women on the right to be plus size. These women are obese.
You actually, my body type is a big part of my identity. I always get comments on my abs or my physique, or whether it's family, friends, or on social media, and people remember me for it. Like I've worked with people and I, show up again and they're like, oh, you're the girl with the abs, or, so it is a big part of.
So I'm curious, is she simply skinny or fit? Because there is a big, big difference between the two, and the difference is muscle mass. Usually if someone has abs, I mean, what is that saying? Abs on a skinny person is like a fat girl with huge boobs. It doesn't count. But there are some skinny people that also don't have abs. However, abs can be and usually are very, very genetic.
My identity, and it has a lot to do with the work I do too. If I didn't look like this, I don't think I would get hired as much.
I personally, I said I don't feel like it is, even though people do comment on my
I raised the speed to 1.25.
Figure a lot and say I'm like extremely skinny. And to me, I don't really want to be. I would like to gain some weight. So I don't want to like say that's me, because hopefully I am gaining some weight actually, thank God. But yes.
The big girl's clapping. She doesn't mean that big.
So I don't really generally try to identify with my physical body, because I really see myself as a spirit and a flesh. Yeah. So
I think I agree. Oops, sorry. I think I agree with pretty much everyone. There's like it's like a gray area where I don't function under like, oh, this is my size per se, but I have been put in rooms and I've gotten jobs based off of how I look. And it became part of my identity, but when people see me, I wouldn't say like that is like the main descriptor, because there's just so much more that I generally bring into a room. So it's like, I don't know if I agree or disagree, but I disagree only because it's not the first thought that comes to my mind, but I also can't speak for other people, because we are pretty much, like she said, we're just spirits, we're just here for real.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, I would love for it not to have to be my identity, but, you know, being told you were fat since you were born and having memories as a 5-year-old, like taking a picture, hiding behind flowers for my dance concert because I thought I was fat. P.S. I wasn't. I mean, that's also like a whole thing too. You know, so much of my identity was how I was trying not to be fat.
Well, I mean, if your family is saying that you're fat at 5 years old, you probably are. I mean, we are so heavily skewed when it comes to what is fat. A lot Lifts just did a video about this, and we think that people who are obese are just overweight. And we think people who are overweight are healthy, and then we think healthy sized people are underweight. It's so goofy.
And then when I finally woke up and was like, wait a minute, it doesn't matter. Now I'm a fat activist and it absolutely is part of my identity, but it is in like a whole other way.
And here's the thing, you making being fat a part of your identity, you will continue to be fat. You will continue to be morbidly obese. You saying I am something, that is you choosing to be that person. That's why I always say, if you are trying to make a change, you will see who I am now, and like the body that I have, the fitness stuff that I do. I was not always like this. I started from zero, just like everyone else did. I had to lose the weight. I had lost over 30% of my body weight. Lost all the weight. It took 11 months. Started lifting. Started getting into running and doing ultra marathons. You have to say I am, or think about who is the type of person that does the things that you want to do. If you want to be a gym girl, what does a gym girl do? Gym girl will set her clothes out the night before, so she knows when she wakes up, she has everything ready to go. A gym girl will spend 2 hours on a Sunday meal prepping for the entire week, so she's not tempted by fast food. A gym girl will set an alarm on her phone to wind down an hour before bed, keep her phone out of the bedroom, and turn on the red lights. Maybe not all gym girls do this, but this is more like healthy girl stuff. These are the things, actions you need to do to become the person that you want to be. And once you start identifying with that person, you will become that person. The only way to become the person you want to be are doing the things that make that person who they are. The difference between, I say this all the time, the difference between who you are and who you want to be are the things that you do. You cannot become a gym girl. You cannot become a YouTuber. You cannot become an actor without doing the things that gym girls, YouTubers, and actors do. So if you are identifying as a fat activist, you will stay fat forever until you have a health scare, and then you're gonna have to take care of it and then lose weight.
It's not like me trying to hide who I am. It's actually like celebrating who I am. So,
Thank you for sharing that. Speaking of that word,
I don't understand the whole celebrate thing. What are you celebrating? What is there to celebrate? What are we celebrating? Gluttony? Never saying no? Not denying yourself anything? Not being able to delay gratification? What is there to celebrate? I don't understand it.
fat, how does that term affect you? Does it offend any of you ladies?
no.
I think the context, like, you know, it's all how it's used. Like, yeah, I can say it, call myself fat, but like, if one of the skinny ladies were to say it, I don't quite know. To me, it's a kitchen table word. Like, it's okay amongst us, but oh, that fat girl over there, no.
It's a descriptor word. Why is calling someone, hey, that fat girl over there versus hey, that skinny girl over there? Why is that? What's the difference?
You know, I think there's other creative ways to use it. It doesn't really bother.
Like what? Calorie lover? I love calories. If I was on the show, I would have brought this for all of them. Sorry. Does that mean? No, because they do love calories. Hello. I love calories too. How do you think I fucking gained over 50 pounds? I'm 4'11", by the way. Oh, these are getting a little bent up. I need to move these.
Me, but it's just like, come on, let's use better adjectives.
Right.
I would agree. I think it's just context for me. And I don't really mind if someone calls me fat. It's just the context. I think it's just an adjective. When I used to nanny kids, one of the girls was chubby and would get bullied a lot. And I would just tell her, like, fat's just an adjective. But I can see when non-fat people see me use the word fat, they're like, but you're beautiful. And I'm like, no one said I was ugly. Oh, I'm just fat. That's the adjective.
Yeah. I have really appreciated seeing thin.
Yeah, I think it's because people get so shell shocked because fat traditionally has been used synonymously with ugly. So when you call yourself fat, to people who are not in the fat acceptance world, like this is a weird niche. If you're watching this, you are in a weird niche. Most people are not aware of what's going on in this weird little, not little, but weird, I guess, medium-sized part of the internet. So we all know that, yes, I think there are beautiful fat women, as in, I'll use Tess Holiday is a great example. Beautiful face, not a beautiful body. So yes, people can be fat and beautiful, but people not in this world don't understand that fat people, mostly fat women, have kind of like reclaimed that word in a sense. So they're still used to like the early 2000s use of that word.
Friends learn words like bigger bodied and plus size and curvy and feel comfortable saying that or feel comfortable acknowledging that I live in a bigger body. But fat is just a word, it's just a descriptor, and it is what people would describe us, whether it's negative or positive. So
I really don't like that sweater. Like the cuts on it, or it looks like it was cut open. Like if you cut open bread, I don't like that.
for me, it's kind of like the word bitch. It's like we reclaimed that in 1997. So let's reclaim the word fat. If I want to call myself a fat person, which I am one, it sort of starts to take, I think, the stigma and those hurt feelings away and just normalizes it. And I love making people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, uncomfortable.
What? Okay. Me too, I guess. Let's get it. Let's go.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Why
I
not?
thought you said comfortable. Okay.
I mean, that too, in like certain context.
I see what you mean. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Does anyone
Thanks for sharing that, you fucking weirdo.
have anything to add to that in terms of the word?
I wanted to ask the young lady in the blue, how would it not be taken out of context, or how could a skinny person, because you mentioned the skinny girls, how could we use it and you not be offended? Is there ever a time we can say you're fat and you won't be offended?
Like when I mean, like if you're using it mean-spirited, you know, like, will I be deeply offended? No, but it's just like, okay, this is where we're going. So then,
I agree. You shouldn't use it to be mean-spirited, but I feel like most times that word is used, it is simply to be a descriptor. Although I will say, if I'm pointing someone out, like if I need to point her out, I probably wouldn't say that fat woman over there. I would probably say that bigger lady. Yeah, that's what I would say.
and of course, I'm quick-witted. I'm going to have to say something rude too. But, but overall, like if we're
These fat ladies, these bigger ladies are already coming off as extremely defensive. I'm clocking that right now.
homegirls, you're like, okay, come on, you know, okay, you're a little fat. Okay, so it's really in the context of the word.
So it's more like rude. It feels rude.
Yeah.
I think most of the time people use it in a rude way, but like for example, like if I'm in a room, like me and my best friend's polar opposite. I'm white and fat. She's super thin and Asian. So I'll be like, oh, you see that really tiny thin girl over that thin Asian girl? That's her. Or she might be like, oh, you see like the fat white girl? That's like my best friend. So that'd be a time where I'd be like, yeah, I am the fat white girl. Like, you know what I mean? But definitely most of the time in most contexts, people are not saying it for adjective purposes.
And I agree with that. I wasn't trying to be intellectually dishonest. I agree with that. I've only used it negatively.
That's what I was thinking. I think for you, after the holidays, are you going to be on January 1st? Oh, I got a little fat. My abs are under some cookies. That's when it's like,
Ew, I don't like this girl.
you are never going to be fat,
I
right?
probably would say that because I know I could get my abs back quick.
But you're not fat. You have gained weight or your body has changed, but you're not fat.
Or I hate being at a table and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be like such a fat ass right now because they're big fat, like more like that when they're eating. I'm like, okay, then what am I? Like,
I mean, honestly, you are also a fat ass / a big back. Hello. When people are saying I'm gonna be such a, like when I say it, I'm gonna be a big back tomorrow. It's our friend's birthday. I mean, I'm not. Paula, if you're watching this, she's my coach. I'm not gonna be a big back tomorrow. I've been a big back enough already the last few weeks. No, but if someone says they're going to be a big back, that means they're going to be participating in big back behaviors. That is doing things and eating and drinking copious amounts of food, eating food you shouldn't be eating in that amount, probably for a few days or so or whatever for the holidays, or drinking more than you probably should. That's fat ass behavior. That's big back behavior. Eating 3 slices of pumpkin pie, big back. eating one slice of each pie at the table, fat ass. Hello, you do not need to eat 5 slices of pie. That is big back behavior. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Like, if you're fat, then like, damn, I'm the Titanic. Like, I don't know.
we
Sure. I mean,
know is
say.
it's not a feeling.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people use the word fat as. It's like, I feel fat today. It's like, you've never been fat one day in your life. So I think that's where like
I have been fat, and there are some days that I do feel fat. Like if I'm particularly inflamed or bloated, I definitely feel fat. Yeah. Don't try to tell me what I feel or don't feel. You don't police my feelings.
activism for us comes in, and the allyship with thin women around us is like, as soon as you stop using it as a feeling, it helps.
I will never be a fat activist ally. Mark my words. Absolutely not. Nope. I want to eradicate the world of obesity. Not the people, not obese people. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I want to rid the world of obesity. I want everyone to be healthy. That does not mean skinny. I want everyone to be in a healthy body size. I want everyone to eat properly, eat mostly whole foods. I want everyone to get exercise daily. Oh my God. I want people to care about themselves. I want people to hold themselves to higher standards. Oh no. I want people to get 8 hours of sleep a night if they could. Oh, I'm so bad. Take me to the back and shoot me.
Us. And also for me, like, I'm not a mom on purpose because I don't want to like pass on this like body image sort of negativity to the next generation. But those of us that aren't as aware of it, it's really easy to just look in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, whatever about your body. And then you don't know what child or...
That is fair. I agree with that point.
You know, if you have a child, I suppose, is looking at you and taking that in, and then they're going to school being like, you're fat, to someone else. So it's just like this chain reaction.
I will say, when you take out the sting of what it is, once I changed my mind about fatness and that it's okay to be fat, and...
No, it's not. It's not good for you, and it's not good for society.
This is how every generation, probably, if you go 20 back, of my Irish Catholic family looks. You know, we're big bone girls, and...
Big bone does not exist. Girl, I can see your fat protruding out of your dress. You're not big bone, you're just big. Look at you. I'm really trying not to be mean, but this type of rhetoric just pisses me off. You are not a fucking big bone. Some people are naturally bigger, like Samoans and Tongans. You being Irish and going through a famine, however many years ago that was, that's not why you're fat. You're fat because you are eating too much food.
When I realized it's not a morality like indicator, right? It's just...
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think being fat or obese is a moral failing. Like I don't think do people say that? I don't think people say that. Maybe they do. I don't know. Because you can be a really great person. You know, you can volunteer and you can donate and you can do all these really nice things and also be fat. You're morally a great person. You're just consuming too much. And I want this to be clear. I know it can seem like I don't like all fat people just based off the content that I create, and that is not true. The fat people who are just existing, doing their own thing, don't care. Fat people who are trying to lose weight, fucking love them. Fat people who are trying to convince others it's okay to be fat and to stay fat and you can be healthy at every size, and they make up all these stupid excuses. They have no personal responsibility. They take no ownership of their actions and their choices. Don't like them. That is where the spiciness comes from. It's saved for those people. It is not saved for the ones existing, doing nothing, whatever, or the ones, especially for the ones trying to lose weight. Especially.
When I took the stigma of being fat out of what I thought about it, you could call me fat all you want and it doesn't even bother me because it's true, and it doesn't make me a bad person.
Or less of a person.
Yeah.
I do want to like chime in and say that like just how you guys can be selective about how you want to be addressed when you are addressing someone who doesn't share the same body type. Like I think 2 of you guys like referenced like the skinny girls. Like it feels like there's a sense of divide, and there's also like an intermeaning of what you choose fat to mean. When fat isn't necessarily a negative thing, because in some cultures it's like a sign of wealth.
Yeah.
But also like
Not in America.
Like I don't know. I don't think there should be like
and not in the vast majority of the earth. That's really not a thing anymore.
Like don't call me fat when you claim it in a way. And if it's like in a negative way, then that's when you deserve to like clap back. Like say something about it, because if somebody is throwing bad energy towards you, of course you're supposed to defend yourself. But I do also think like on both sides of things, when we're using language, intentions is most important more than the word. And saying, oh, I don't like when people say this and that and the third, it's just like, well, what do y'all call us? You gonna call us skinny? And then in my history, like growing up, skinny wasn't necessarily great. Like I got made fun of for my size. And I feel like it could hold weight and power over you based off of a word, or it could just be more of a sense of reference. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing about the skinny versus fat shaming is for some reason it's okay to skinny shame people, women, men, but as soon as like they can tell them to eat a burger, ha ha ha, so funny, but as soon as they say, well, maybe you should lay off the burgers, oh my God, World War III. Why is it okay from one end and not the other? Why is body shaming okay one directionally?
It's just like, I feel like there's experiences on both sides of the spectrum. So just being so bold to like call one side thing and then be like gatekeep a word on the other end, it's like maybe
it's intellectually dishonest.
Consider a little bit more on like how other people might take like their sides, because there's struggles on both sides. It's just one side is more upfront and the other side is more like very niche, I guess you would say.
I think one side is more socially acceptable.
Yeah.
In a sense. But I did see you tearing up on this side.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I did get emotional when you were talking about being a little girl, hiding, your body and stuff. But then also, if I'm being real with you, I also just started tearing up because my makeup. But I really did feel for clumps. It was a real emotion, but it got a lot worse. And then I was just like, oh God, I can't even hide this. And so that's why I was closing my eyes. But it was like that moment hurt me to hear you say that, because I don't think any little girl should feel like that. And
yes, and that is why it is the parent's responsibility to ensure that your child does not become overweight or obese. If you have a child that is overweight or obese, that is your problem. That is your child. Am I saying what you did caused it? No. I mean, maybe if you're a POS parent, but it is ultimately your responsibility. They are either eating the foods that you're eating, which are not good foods, they're eating too much of it, and or they have gone through something traumatic, and children don't know how to regulate their emotions. Most adults don't know how to regulate their emotions, so adults are not teaching their children how to work through their emotions, how to solve their problems. And again, in the US, 74% of US adults are overweight, and of that, 40% are obese. So if these people are having children, they are passing down their unhealthy habits, they're passing down their coping mechanisms to their children. That is your responsibility, period. If you don't want your child, and this is a prime example. The bigger lady who, see, I didn't say fat lady. Sometimes I do. I don't know if I really say it that often. I usually just say bigger. But the bigger lady who's talking about being fat as a kid, this is what I mean when I say, if you have an overweight or obese child, not only the myriad of health issues, but the social issues that come with it, because guess what? Look how she turned up. Now she's super morbidly obese, still dealing with this mess. It's not fair. It's not right.
It is a shame just that girls in general have a lot of pressure put on them about their looks, body-wise, face-wise. And I dealt with my own things like that growing up, but I'm not to compare it to you. It has.
Also, if I tab in and out of this, what I'm doing is checking OBS, because last time I tried to record on OBS, it kept crashing on me, so I just want to ensure that it doesn't crash on me. And same with my camera. If I'm glancing over, like being all shifty-eye with you, I'm making sure that it's still recording here in the corner here.
It was more so my face and stuff. I had weird things I thought was wrong with my face. My forehead too big, So I got teary about that.
Yeah, but it all matters.
Yeah,
matters
that's all valid.
And I think that that's correct. I think as a gender, it is so out of whack, and diet culture has us by the throat in a way that makes us opposing when we are not. We are all in the same boat when it comes to women constantly have to think about their bodies all the time.
Yeah, this is true.
It occupies so much space in our heads what our bodies look like. And that is something that fat liberation has given me. I have space in my head. So I also want to...
No, it just removes all personal responsibility from you. You should be worried about what your body looks like. Look at your stomach. Her waist to height ratio is probably like a 1. She is probably... Well, I can't... Maybe she stood up, I can tell. But she is probably as wide as she is tall. Like, come on.
If I may, just address the whole, talking about a word thing. I think Marcy's point is that fat is a descriptor. It is a physical describer. It isn't the feeling of it. So when she's trying to gatekeep it, she's actually just asking it to be used as what it is. Like, fat is not a feeling. We don't feel fat. You can feel bloated, you can feel like you're slowed down. But again, these are all things that we associate with fatness, right? Like, the word fat has so many other things attached to it. It has being slovenly, being dirty, being poor, being like, all these things are attached to fatness. And we can't act like that's not happening, right? Like that is like, all of us would get paid less than you at a job, like statistically.
And all of them would also cost the company more in health insurance and with loss of productivity because they're constantly at doctor's appointments. Hello.
That's true.
Statistically, we get paid 3 years less of an income.
Yeah. I mean, these are like real things in the world that fatness has in its detriment.
Well, almost like there's something that you can do about this. Interesting.
Detriment. So someone saying when they are clearly not a fat person, I feel fat, it would be like me being like, I feel so black in a way. Like,
what? Why did they pan over? Oh, are they? I don't remember if they're all black. I'll say, why did they pan over to the 2 black girls? I think they all are. Comparing fat to being black is probably but one of the most disrespectful, out of touch with reality things you can do. These 2 women here cannot change their skin tone. These 2 women here cannot change what happens whenever they walk into a store and security is watching them. These 2 women cannot change the judgment that they receive from random people on the street. You can. It is not their choice. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing, but the fat people compare blackness as if being fat is bad, therefore being black is bad. It's not. But they're like that one girl who tried to who was talking about a cure for fatness, like if there's a cure for blackness. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Comparing being fat to being black is fucking disgusting. You can change your fatness, they cannot change their blackness. End of discussion. I hope so. I hope one of these women says something. Oh my god, I need to be on one of these panels. I'm gonna end up leaving in handcuffs. Not really, but oh man.
Like ever say that? Like,
yeah, they do.
And that's crazy, right? And that's like,
It's insane.
Yeah.
The next prompt is, my body size has affected my dating experience.
No. Although I will say when I was my heaviest, I did not date people because I felt I did not look good. I did not like how I looked. Again, I was class 1 obese. I was 160 pounds at 4'11". I know that doesn't sound crazy, but again, I'm 4'11". That is a BMI of over 30. People 4'11" should not be 160 pounds. They should not be 150 pounds. They should not be 140 pounds. 130 pounds is even pushing it. We're small. But when I was that big, I did not date people because I was not confident, I was not comfortable, and I was mentally very unwell.
Okay. Anyone say no? Okay. Okay, I would like to hear from you.
Just because my experience is a little different. I married my high school sweetheart. So, and when I was younger, I was thick. So, it wasn't fat, I was thick. And so I was younger and my body.
Press X for doubt.
He looked more like a woman, it was voluptuous and all that. So by the time I got with him, it was fine. And even now, I tease him, like I still get people like me or whatever because of my, I feel like it's not a size thing, it's what you project.
Where are their mics at? I can't see mics on any of these people, but they all have them, right?
But also at the same time, I think being plus sized, I feel like I said, if I was plus size now and single, I don't know what I would do because I feel like I see a lot of my plus size sisters out here wearing certain clothes or doing certain things to get the attention, and like the whole chubby chasers and the guys and stuff like that. I think that they're just looking for love and they're getting it in the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Once you get past a certain size, the type of people that are attracted to you are usually fetishists. So they are attracted purely to your body and how big it is, just like Amber's ex-girlfriend. And that's really not the type of person you want to be with, because once you decide to lose weight, which you should, otherwise you're going to die early, they're not going to be happy about it. It happens all the time on my 600-pound life where they try to lose weight and their partner's like, no, don't do it. No. It's like, I'm actively dying. And you don't want to support me getting healthy? Weirdo behavior.
So, anyone else like to speak on this?
I'm gonna say my size affects my dating because I think some of my size has more options of high value men, and I think that's a good thing.
Anyone else want to speak on? One of you ladies.
I'm just like, oh God, it's painful. I mean, I've certainly had access to some high value men, but the reality is that, yeah, you might be more suitable for the bedroom, because I've had plenty of that. But
That's not a flex. Men will have sex with cars and cupcakes at the same time. It's always the funniest thing. Like, men are so attracted to me. I have so many men wanting to sleep with me. Sweetheart, some men sleep with their own relatives. Like, not the flex you think it is. Caleb Hammer, stop emailing me. I'm going to unsubscribe. He emails too much.
for the yacht or for the ballet or the prom, somebody else gets picked. And I think for me, I am married, which shocks a lot of people. No, I'm just kidding. Are we about to have fun and laugh a little? Okay, whew, it's tense in here, you guys. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, because you came off the bat being a fucking defensive bitch. Of course it's going to be tense.
So, I've had a boyfriend since I was 11. I've had a lot of male attention my whole life, and female and non-binary, and I've got him lined up at the door. But
sure, Jan.
For serious relationships, if women are taught to look like Barbie or to want to look like Barbie, men are taught that that's what's acceptable. And I like to say people, we've been very gendered, and I think that like men and women and people of all kinds suffer from body image stuff, but in dating, I think people are taught that if they are not attracted to what is the norm, that they're an outlier, that they're a fetishizer, that...
Well, yeah, if you are attracted to women this size or women like Eugenia Cooney or around that area, that it is a fetish, because humans as a whole, for the most part, generally, are attracted to, I mean, yes, a wide range of women, but once you get to the extremes on both sides, it's starting to become a problem, because when we see people who are emaciated or people who are morbidly obese, that is a sign of being unwell. That is a sign of being sick. That is a sign that you are not doing okay. And being attracted to sick and not doing okay bodies is not normal.
And we've seen evolution in this with interracial couples and, biracial families now, but I think with bigger bodied women, if you're attracted to a bigger bodied person.
Why do they keep going back to race, bro? It's different from an Asian man and a black woman getting married compared to a thin dude and a fat woman getting married. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
You're kind of put in this category of like, oh, he must only like you for a certain thing. So I got a lot to say about that.
That may be true somewhat. I agree somewhat, but there's also scientifically, there's a certain shape that males are automatically attracted to as well.
Yeah, and most men, I mean, I can't really tell how thin these women are. I mean, you kind of can, but not super. But a lot of men also are not attracted to really skinny women. They're more attracted to women who have a little bit big boobs, a little bit big butt, and bigger hips. It's just evolutionary.
I disagree.
I disagree.
Really scientifically, they're
be a wider hips for birthing purposes.
Yeah.
I would say I'm gonna kind of be in a middle here, because I feel like that question did it sparked something in me weird, because I like to tell people I didn't have the typical fat girl experience. Most girls who would have looked like me growing up would have gotten severely bullied and all that fun, cool stuff. Joking. But I was a freshman when my brother was a senior. He played football, he played basketball, he played volleyball. There's no way you're gonna F with me, right? You're like, you see this big jock and that's his little sister. I'm not gonna pick on her. But I also was made very aware from a young age that I was more facially beautiful than the average person. And
yeah, she gives Tess Holiday vibes. Pretty face, but not the rest.
That obviously comes from Western stereotypes. White woman, blue eyes. I have some Middle Eastern in me, so it makes me a little whatever. And I was made aware by everyone, adults, teachers, your face is so beautiful. You're so this. So I was given a big confidence booster. But at the same time, it was also you are so beautiful, so you should be this size. Mm-hmm. I will say when it comes to men, the problem there isn't high value men. I've dated millionaires, I've dated billionaires. I've had
What? Multiple? Multiple billionaires? Sure, Jan.
Access to a lot of different men. And so I would say those men, the difference is some could be privacy, but most of the time it's an embarrassment. And when these men have confided in me, it wasn't because they weren't attracted to plus size women. They were more upset and felt shame from their peers and what they had to say. And I have...
Isn't that why the body positivity movement was created, is because it was a bunch of white dudes who were attracted to big ladies and they didn't want to be embarrassed going out? going out with them, so they created the movement.
Stories about that, but I won't go on. But basically, it wasn't that high value men weren't attracted to me or plus size women that I knew, but more so they were so much more worried about the shame and disrespect that they would get from peers and family. And one of those, I would say, experiences for me in high school. Again, brother was a senior, I was a freshman, and constantly his friends would like pull me to the side and be like, Haley, like you're so beautiful, you're so smart, you're so this, like you're my dream girl. If only you were a size 0. No. If only you were.
I don't think they said the size because most boys don't care about that. But yeah, sorry, most people don't want to date someone who's fat. Sorry, it's not attractive. At least not to me.
If we could just get you this, and that was multiple, not 1, not 2, not 3, groups of men from a young age telling me everything about you. You are literally a dream girl, but your size is taking away from everything in your life.
And this has been studied. I mean, talking about studies, there was a journalist who went to go find out about men's taste in women, basically, and Pornhub was very generous and let them have all of their data. And what
there's a lot of weird searches on there, like step stuff, very young stuff.
The most surprising thing to the guy who did the study was that the amount of people that went and searched for plus size porn. And that he was shocked at how people's profile said one thing and that they wanted one thing, but then because he managed to get like dating profile information on those people too. But then when they went,
I'd be very curious to see this. I mean, I really wouldn't be shocked because people, when they're watching that kind of stuff, it's typically the things that are the opposite of what they normally like, and it's more of a fantasy rather than a reality.
And looked at their,
or they're just very morbidly curious.
Actual desires, plus size women were the highest group. So I think that yes, by the way, dating's terrible. So many you can't even call them relationships. Situationships on the down low, like until I actually got some self-respect.
I resonated with what you said because I was on the other side of that. My last boyfriend, he's probably gonna be mad at me to say that, but I'm gonna tell on my ex anyway. He was dating me, and I'm obviously not a big, beautiful woman, but that he made it clear to me privately, that's what he liked. He even wrote.
If you're dating someone who has a preference for what you are not, please do yourself a favor and leave them, because you are never going to be enough for that person. And I promise you, there is someone out there who wants exactly what you are.
About it in one of his songs, he said, slept with skinny women, but I want thicker women, and named this beautiful supermodel Paloma. He was like, I want Paloma, but she's on a different coast while I'm dating him, right? But he wasn't able to really explore this because his friends would make fun of him for liking bigger women. And so I ended up feeling like it was hard on my own self-esteem because I'm like, so are you choosing me because you just don't want to be made fun of, or because you really find me attractive, or I'm just like the look that you think is going to be the safest bet for you? And
okay, Paloma is what these women think that they look like. She's definitely, well, depending on the photo, some of them, she's definitely plus size, but she's not morbidly obese at all. She's thick. Well, well, some pictures she's going big, but some of them that I'm looking at here, she looks totally like a normal plus size, not an obese plus size.
So I absolutely that's why I said I disagree, because from my experience, I've seen, especially because like I tend to date black men, the opposite, and I usually am considered too skinny, not curvaceous enough. You know, it's actually kind of like the opposite of emasculating, or whatever that word is sometimes. So yeah, I disagree.
Would any of you say that you've ever tried to change yourself physically for the purpose of dating?
Well, yes, I think I have. Even like recently, like I know this is not like a huge thing because, you know, it's my experience, but like this is the biggest I've ever been in like my life. I'm usually like really close to like 118. I'm like 140 right now. And I worked really hard to like gain this weight. And it's because like previous people that I have dated was like, I want a thicker woman. The music that we listen to, thick, 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 booty. And I'm just like, dang, you know, and then there'll be the other end of the spectrum where other people's like, oh, you have the perfect body type. You can model, you can do all this. But love life wise, it is a little bit hard to like balance both of those.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying. A lot of men, I guess women too, but they're talking about men, also don't like really skinny women, but they also don't like really fat women.
Worlds where they're telling you one thing about your body and another. So I think, yeah, I've changed in some ways aspects in how I view my body because of dating and for dating.
It's definitely cultural for women of color because we're supposed to be thicker women culturally. And if you're too skinny, I think all the skinny girls would agree, we've got made fun of, families, friends, when we were smaller. I know when I used to be, well, not your size, but I used to be smaller. And
I'm nodding not because I understand, but because I've heard about this a lot.
I got, you know what I mean, hell for it. And then I was thinking,
Well, it's especially prevalent in like Black communities where usually it's women will start losing weight, and then once they become like obese, women will start losing weight, and once they're heading into like just the overweight category, a lot of their family members will say, "Oh my God, you're getting so skinny! Like you need to stop. You're gonna be skin and bones." But they're still an unhealthy body weight for their size.
well, maybe if I eat more, maybe if I get, you know what I mean, bigger, I can open myself up to more options or whatever. But then you get older and then, I don't know, you're kind of happy that you're skinny. I am.
Well, would anyone here rather be plus size than skinny?
Is thick plus size?
No. Well, I think thick and plus size can be they can mean the same thing, but there is a line where none of these women, in my opinion, are thick or plus size. They are morbidly obese. Sorry.
Is that medium?
You could call
Size
it, they call
large,
it mid-size
extra
in the plus size community. Is you're a mid-size.
I feel like bigger women, and maybe it's just because I participate a lot in art. Like I feel like you guys have the best body type to like art wise. Like have you ever seen photography or paintings or
I do
drawing?
nude art modeling.
It's so great. It's
Yeah.
beautiful to draw because you guys have so much curves. I feel like it's just
So would
Rolls?
you rather be plus size than skinny? That's the question.
No. No, I'd rather be skinny. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
That's the question. Is there anyone here, even you ladies,
No.
would you rather be plus size or than skinny? No.
No, I've been thin and I've been fat, and I can tell you 10 times out of 10 I got treated better as a thinner woman. It's like being in a club that you never have access to, and then
You can though. You can.
you get in the club and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to leave here because everyone finally treats me with respect.
I don't want to be thin. I don't have no interest because of what it takes, because of what the space in my brain it takes, how the damage I do to my body when I do it, the exercise, the waste of time, the amount of time that I've wasted on trying.
You don't and that's the problem. They're doing all these stupid diets. They're working I'm eating 800 calories a day and I'm in the gym for 3 hours a day and blah 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 blah. So I need to do all this just to stay thin. You don't, by the way. Like I always say, there's a spectrum. Literally, here is a spectrum here. You have the girls on the left, the skinny girls. You have the girls on the right, the obese girls. Women. Sorry, these are all women, not girls. You don't have to go over here. You can stop. You can stop right here. She has a good, 250 pounds to lose. You can lose that and then stop. And then you can lift weights and then have that toned. I say that in quotes because you can't. Toning isn't a thing. You can only grow or shrink muscle. But I understand what people mean when they say they want to look toned. What being toned is having enough muscle mass plus low body fat so you can see the muscle mass underneath. If you don't have the muscle mass and then you lose your weight, you will be skinny. You'll just look like what you do now, just smaller. So if you want shape, if you want some type of frame to you, if you want to look tight and toned, that is what muscle is.
To be thin, no thinness would ever make up for that.
So you're saying that in order to maintain the thinness, it's just so much work that you wouldn't want to have to deal with that.
Let's just be clear. I've never been, I've been a size 10 at my lowest. At 10.
Okay, yeah, so she's never been thin or fit because 10 is still, depending on your height, is still big.
10 years old, I was 10. You know what I mean? Dressing in old ladies' clothes when I was 10.
Okay, yeah. So she, what is she talking about then? So she's never actually been in a healthy body weight.
There was no clothes to fit me. So I would just say that in the world, of course, in our white supremacy world, thinness is
What? Where did that come from?
Exalted.
I would say I was my most insecure when I was my thinnest, but that was because of the pressure from other people to stay that thin. Not because I wanted it. I actually liked myself about 20 pounds heavier than that. And everyone was like, no. I literally had someone tell me, you need to stay this way, just like this.
And the next prompt is, people make assumptions about my health based on my size.
I mean, yeah, I guess people assume I'm healthy because I am. I mean, I look healthy. I have low body fat, high muscle mass. So, yeah, I guess.
Okay, I haven't heard from you. Why don't you speak?
Yes, people think that I work out all the time, and I don't work out at all. People come to me and ask me, like, what's your workout routine? What do you do? What do you eat? And I'm like, I love junk food. I feel like I'm a healthy person, but I don't stray away from anything that I want to eat that I see. I'm like, oh, I want that. I want to go to McDonald's. I want this. I want some sweets. I don't stop myself from it.
And here's the thing. Yes, she does go to McDonald's. She has the junk food. And like she said, she is also healthy because she's not eating that type of food all the time. And if she is, no, that's still not healthy. I don't care what size you are. Eating ultra processed foods every single day, eating fast foods every single day, not good for you. But two, she's not eating the amount that's going to cause her to gain weight. If she's going to McDonald's, let's say she has a meal there, that's probably the only thing she's eating all day. Because people who are this thin, traditionally, typically, normally, their hunger and fullness hormones, I'm not saying they're out of whack. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. But typically they feel fuller much, much faster than people on the right. And also, it takes them much, much longer to feel hungry again. So they simply don't eat as much.
Indulging in what I want to do to like, oh, I'm on a diet. Like, but I also think I maintain a healthy diet too. But yeah.
So you are healthy?
Yeah. In general, yes.
Okay. So their assumption is correct then.
Define healthy.
What does a healthy person look like?
I eat my veggies.
So the fat acceptance movement always does this. Define health. What is health? How can you tell what is unhealthy? Okay. The definition of health is a comprehensive state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not just the absence of sickness, involving the capacity to adapt, function, and thrive in daily life.
I am active. I just don't like, I'm not in the gym every day, like lifting weights. I'm an active person, so I walk, and like my job requires a lot of walking. Yeah, but I wouldn't consider myself unhealthy. I'm more on the healthy side than not being healthy. I'm conscious in the sense of like, okay, if I'm making a meal, I have a starch, I have some greens, meat, that type of thing. But again, I'm just not straying away from like eating something just to maintain I've never had to actively try to be this size. It's just what I am naturally. If anything, I've tried to gain weight and that doesn't work.
Why'd you do that?
Just because honestly, I think it stems from childhood. People always telling me like, oh, you're skinny, you're skinny, you're skinny. And it's a good thing. And I feel like more or less me shaping what I should be in order to be appeasing to men. This really more or less came from women more than men in media. I feel like women have a sense of like, oh, this is what men want. This is what you should look like. But when you actually get out into the world, like men like pretty much everything. Yeah.
Anything with a hole, men like.
Yeah, like men like everything. And I'm like, who told y'all this? So I feel like that kind of has stopped.
Yeah, a lot of the insecurities that women have, if you ask men about those specific things, they're completely oblivious to them.
And it's more or less, I still am on a journey to gain a little weight, but that's just for me personally, because I'm like, okay, I can use a little something here, you know what I mean? But that's me personally, it has nothing to do with men. But at one point, I did feel like I had to achieve a certain body type in order to be more fitting or look like a woman, because I've always been like the smallest everywhere, like in my friend groups, in my classrooms, like I'm always the skinny girl.
You felt like you look like a child.
Yes, especially because like I have small breasts too. I don't have a booty, so it's like I can be small, but you know, you look at other girls who have the same frame, but they have breasts and like they have a booty, so it's look a little different, you know.
Thank you. What about any of you ladies making assumptions about your health?
Yeah, definitely. I just have conditioned myself to be an advocate for myself with my health. I have had health struggles, and I know when I go into the doctor's office automatically.
Does she have a picture of herself on her watch face? Oh my God.
They're going to put it on because I'm fat, whatever the ailment is, and it may not even be related. So
I would argue the vast majority of the time it would be related. Of course, are there situations where it makes no sense to bring up weight being tied to whatever reason that they come in? Yes, like, well, I don't know, an earache or something. But I feel like doctors are trained to do a visual exam and see, this person is morbidly obese. Maybe I should talk to them about their weight because this is objectively unhealthy. If you are morbidly obese, you are unhealthy, period, point blank, end of discussion. Simply based, I'm gonna list off some things, but simply because gravity exists, you are putting a metric fuck ton amount of weight on your joints, on your cartilage, on your bones as you're walking. That objectively is not healthy. Obesity leads to serious health issues, including #1 killer in America, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and certain cancers. Roughly 40% of all cancers diagnosed in the US are associated with being overweight or obese. That is according to the CDC. The cancer types, obesity is most strongly linked to higher risk of esophageal, gastric, cardia, liver, gallbladder, pancreatic, colorectal, endometrial, breast, kidney, and thyroid cancers. For some cancers, the link is more pronounced. For example, excess weight is associated with up to 50% of endometrial cancers and 35% of liver cancers. And how it increases it is first, the three things: inflammation. So the first one, chronic low-level inflammation caused by excess fat can damage DNA over time. Hormones, your fat tissue, it's metabolically and hormonally active, by the way. Your fat doesn't just sit there. That's one thing I don't think these people understand is excess adipose tissue, especially visceral fat, because that is the fat that suffocates your organs. It's not just sitting there. It is active. The tissue produces excess estrogen, linked to breast and endometrial cancer. It also lowers testosterone, so that's why fat men typically have lower test levels. And insulin. Obesity can lead to higher levels of insulin and insulin-like growth factor 1, which may promote certain tumor growths. I'll let them continue before I go over my my super long list of what obesity leads to.
That is hard. I have had cancer 2 times, and the first time after I had it, it came back. And one hospital said, "Oh, you don't have cancer. You know, you need health-wise. You know, blaming the fat, of course, all this." And I had to be.
Why is she saying that so flippantly, as if it's not? I literally just said 40% of cancer is related to obesity and overweight issues. You get cancer and you don't lose weight. Amber, what?
Be my own advocate, take it to City of Hope, and they found that I did indeed relapse. So that's always in my head. So, you know, I kind of put a defense mechanism on when I go
Okay, if that's always in your head, then why aren't you doing something about your size? What?
into doctor's office or just in general interacting in the store, whatever. Everything gets blamed on our fat.
Have any of you other ladies experienced any doctors or medical professionals treating you differently because of your size?
Yes, everything is literally always like because of the weight. I have to like yell, like at this point my therapist tells me I just need to be the squeaky wheel. And there's like so many things, like health things that I discovered that are non-related to fat, but we try to just lose a little weight. Okay, that's not the answer. There's my mom died of cancer, and that could have prolonged her life had they not made it about her body. For months.
What cancer though? And was the cancer caused by her being obese?
They just said, you need to lose weight, you need to go to physical therapy. That's it. Okay, then 4 months later, they're like, you're gonna die in 48 hours. You have cancer. So she didn't need to lose weight or go to physical therapy. You just need to do your do your job. That's it.
That's awful.
And I think the BMI scale, if
What are you doing? I was looking something up.
I want to try one of those brownies.
Oh. No. So I actually don't like Dubai chocolate. I don't know why I got it, but I was like, I'm gonna try it. It's good. So do you want to try this one or this one? They both have 19 grams of protein.
Yes, Dubai then.
This one has 250 calories, it's 220. It's similar to their Bell's bar. Dubai?
Thank you.
One a day. If that.
If that.
If you like it. They are better heated up, but I liked it
For the gym.
as is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, first 2 ingredients are whey protein. I like it. The crunchy bits are part of the Dubai chocolate part. It's like pistachio and there's another ingredient or something.
Maybe the brownie one.
Okay. I'll tell Nicole you said.
Very different.
But it's-
flavor.
But yeah, we'll try this one tomorrow.
No problem.
if you don't already know, is set up to be fat fit.
That's awful.
And I think the BMI scale, if you don't already know, is set up to be fat phobic and racist.
It's also from like 1780 and was created for men, white European men. So yes, I think we've all safely can say we have encountered it.
So this is incredibly misleading and not accurate. So of course BMI has limitations, but it is not junk science and is still clinically useful when used correctly. What the science actually says is the BMI is a screening tool, not a diagnostic tool. It correlates strongly with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and also medical guidelines explicitly say BMI should be used with other markers and not alone. The BMI being imperfect does not mean it is useless, and the vast majority of people who say that BMI does not work or apply, it applies. It absolutely applies. The time it's not going to apply to people is when people have more muscle mass than average. Bodybuilders, most football players, those types of people. These are not bodybuilders. These are not football players. And even bodybuilders and football players who are getting into that obesity range, they are still not healthy. It is still not healthy to have that much mass straining your joints and your cartilage and your tendons. That's also not healthy. If you were to take the people who don't believe in BMI and then have them do a waist to height ratio, I guarantee you it's going to be higher than 0.6. I'd bet my entire portfolio on that.
Pretty good history with my doctors, and maybe it is because I have had a pretty positive experience in my life despite being fat. I definitely have had a doctor tell me, it'll be fine, just eat healthy and then look at your beautiful face. You'll be even more beautiful. So it's like, that is real, and I am dealing with something right now that is absolutely impossible for me to cure by simply just weight loss. And when this is probably the first time I've ever had a doctor tell me, and weight loss is really going to be the solution for this. And it's incredibly frustrating. Of course, I'm thankful that I have the language to not only advocate for myself, which if there's any fat people watching this, you can always say, what would you recommend to a thin person having the same issue? But for me, I'm very lucky to have a friend that was able to like help me basically communicate to the doctor what I need. She gave him the list of prescriptions. Would I be a good candidate for this? And they said yes, and they're on the way in the mail. So I think that we're very used to fatness being the lens through which we experience life, whether it's on a plane, at the doctor's office, at McDonald's, at a restaurant, dating. It's definitely the lens through which our life is seen. And I think that's why too, it's like earlier with your resistance to my saying like, it's not allowed. I've had people not like that I call them skinny girls or the thins or, you know, kind of just being funny. It's just, I'm just having a little fun. But of course, it's like I've had so many friends throughout my life and I have so much empathy for people that would love to lose weight and come through.
It's just being silly and funny when you call them the thins, but when they call you the fats, it's no longer silly and funny now, is it?
We'll fatten you up and we'll have a good time.
I think the denial is bizarre.
See, and she just did it again. Oh, we'll fatten you up and have a good time. Yeah, how about we put you on a fucking diet and have a good time? But that's not okay. Stupid.
At here, and I hear like 4 women who are medically obese tell doctors who are scientists and they study arteries, they study organs, and you're being defiant to a doctor or scientist.
I know, it's
and
amazing.
Wait, let me finish, and then you can rebut.
It's a slur.
Wait a minute.
Triggered.
Ouch, ouch.
Okay.
Hold on.
Consider obese
She's gonna go viral. She's gonna go viral.
She didn't even say anything wrong.
Wait.
Why are they so mad? What are you mad about?
Wait, let's just back up. Hold on. I think I understand what you're trying to say, which is you find it strange that because of their weight, they are not willing to address that because their doctors are telling them that, and they think it's something different. But I think what they're saying is that the issues that they're having, they realize are not tied to their weight specifically, like her mother. There are other issues, but because that's like the main focus, it takes all the attention.
But the
Is that
word
correct?
being defiant, no one, I follow.
I think we can all acknowledge that weight bias in healthcare absolutely exists, but it doesn't mean that weight is irrelevant to health or that the doctors are wrong to address it. Like I said earlier, it is their job. Well, you can argue if it's their job to get or keep people healthy or just do band-aid solutions, but that's a video for another day. But the science says weight stigma can harm patient trust and communication, but also obesity independently worsens outcomes for many diseases. And we can say that good medicine would address both the bias and the physiological risk. So I did like how that woman said, oh, how would you treat a thin person? Fair? I think that is fair. If you want to ignore the physiological risk of your morbid obesity and how it's going to affect whatever illness you're going in for, that's on you. But it is fair also to say that there is some medical bias there. Bias is real, but it does not magically make obesity irrelevant to disease risk.
My doctor's things. I think you totally misunderstood.
I didn't even get to finish my point, so
What was the point?
my point was that obesity. You don't like the word obesity. You want fat.
You can use bigger bodied. You can use obese. I'm just telling you, it's considered a slur now.
You can use big bodied. You can use calorific. You can use obese. But just so you know, it's considered a slur. Shut the fuck up. No, it's not. Obesity is a medical term. Just because you don't like it, that doesn't mean people aren't going to use it. Sorry. And it's not the same as calling someone the N-word. Also, by the way, I have a feeling she might say this. No, I haven't watched the video, but she already compared fatness to blackness once. So who's to say she'll do it again?
So it's your choice how you want to use your language.
Yeah, this is all new to me. So
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. So bigger bodied women, like whatever.
I would not have conceded to that. Sorry. I would have laughed in her face. Obese is a slur. Okay. So anyway, before you rudely interrupted me.
Condition you have is going to be exacerbated by the bigger body, right?
It might.
See, it sounds so stupid.
No,
No, it will be. It will.
It is like
Every
No,
condition?
that's not true.
How is
it
it
is.
not true? Your doctor will tell you that
But
it
thin people
exasperates your.
fall over dead after a marathon all the time.
Absolutely.
Thin people
are
have knee replacements.
statistically more.
Thin people get sick. Thin people do this too. Thin people have dangling ankles too. Thin people get cellulitis 12 times a year.
Likely to die from being underweight than someone is from being overweight.
Pause. This statement is false and severely distorted. This claim relies on confounded observational data. The Lancet 2016 corrected BMI and mortality analysis, and it says smoking, cancer, and aging inflate underweight mortality, and when corrected, obesity increases mortality risk. Severe obesity shows a clear dose response with death risk. And that's also coming from CDC, obesity and premature mortality, and then also the National Institute of Health, obesity-related death risk increases with BMI class. And I think this probably has to be one of the most abused statistics in fat activism.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's a statistic. That's
Okay.
you
Yeah.
said
No, that can be
science, you want
debated. No,
statistics.
that can be debated.
What's your name? Jenna? Gina?
Jen.
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 Let me ask you a question.
Anything.
And this is great because it's related to the question we're asking here. How many times a week do you think I work out if I do work out?
Irrelevant. Because your body size is going to come from the food that you are eating. Why are people so freaking delusional? Yeah, you can work out 10,000 hours a week, but if you are eating more food, then if you are eating more calories, more energy than you are expending, you will gain body fat. Period. End of discussion.
Or you can say you don't think I
Zero.
work out at all.
I don't think you.
Great.
I don't think you work.
I have a personal trainer. I go to the gym 5 times a week. I can bench and lift and do all the fun things up to 200, 220
Just
pounds.
curious. When did you start? Like when did you?
I've been working out my whole life. And sometimes I do it to lose.
Okay, but you be eating though. Like that's great. You exercise. Everyone should exercise. I'm not saying thin people shouldn't or fat people shouldn't or whoever shouldn't. Everyone should. And if she is actually strength training, that's great. However, not her physical therapist, her personal trainer should probably point her to a dietitian.
Weight. Sometimes I do it just to be strong. I have 6 godchildren and they don't care how I look. They just care if I can keep up with them.
But you can't. You can't though, can you? Because lifting isn't helping your cardiovascular system in the same way doing cardio is. If your 6 grandchildren all ran into the street, you really think you can run after them and grab them and then run back? No. Your knees are going to give out. Your VO2 max is probably like a 10. Come on. Come on. The delusion on this side is just insane to me. And it's kind of irritating how whenever there's a discussion of thin/fit/whatever, not fat people versus fat people, it's always the fat people who are controlling the conversation because I think the other people are just too afraid to hurt their feels. And they're not saying anything. It's like basically only the scarf woman the scarf woman that is talking here. And it's so frustrating.
They quite love my stomach. They think it's fun. They think it's
Yeah, they're not going to think it's fun when you develop type 2 diabetes and you're insulin resistant and you develop hypertension and then you pass out in the front yard from a heart attack. Because that's the path that you're going down. Hello.
the cutest thing. My little goddaughter looks in the mirror and goes like, I love my tummy. And she doesn't need to be big, but the acceptance of her tummy at whatever size it is, great. It's great to see. But the thing is, the big problem here, and with the question in hand here,
it's big, all right,
is you just see someone who's fat and you look at them and you just immediately assume they don't work out. When in reality, I could probably run past these three ladies on a track right now. I can bet.
Look at her face on the left. Okay.
Bench more weight than them. I can lift more weight than them. You would say I'm probably healthier than them. I have a meal prep.
We know you be eating.
Prep, an assistant, a train. Like I have all.
Okay, you may have meal prep and an assistant. What? I don't know what that means. And a trainer, but you're still eating too much food. Yeah, you might be getting meal prep, but guess what? What are you eating after? Let me see your snack drawer. Let me see your car snacks. Let me see your DoorDash, your Uber Eats app. We're not stupid. Those of us who have suffered with eating issues, we're not dumb. We know what you're doing.
All the things that a thin person has, and just because I'm not thin appearing means it's less valuable or it's not healthy. And in reality,
you're not healthy. You are morbidly obese. So Obesity leads to serious health issues, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, certain cancers by straining the organs, promoting chronic inflammation, and altering metabolic functions. It reduces quality of life through joint pain, sleep apnea, and reduced mobility. Key ways obesity impacts health include cardiovascular and metabolic issues. Excess weight strains the heart, causing high blood pressure. 58% of U.S. adults with obesity, high cholesterol, and increased risk for stroke and heart disease. I'm sure your 6 godchildren would love to hear that you've developed heart disease. It also causes insulin resistance, leading to type 2 diabetes, which is 5 to 12 times more likely in individuals with a high BMI. Oh, there's the BMI. BMI is not accurate though, so I don't know about that one. Respiratory and sleep disorders. Fat accumulation in the neck and tongue can cause sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. If you need a CPAP machine due to your body size, you have a problem. I'm also talking about bodybuilders. Joint and mobility problems. Extra weight puts significant strain on bones and muscles, particularly the hips and the knees. Each step that you take, I believe they say 3 to 5 times the amount of force of your weight in each knee, resulting in inflammation and osteoarthritis, cancer, and chronic conditions. Obesity is linked to over 200 diseases, including increased risk for gastrointestinal, liver, gallbladder, and hormonal cancers. Example, breast, endometrial, like we discussed earlier. It is also associated with fatty liver disease, kidney stones, and digestive issues like heartburn and not having normal bowel movements. Y'all be painting the back of the toilet bowl like Picasso. Mental health and reproductive issues. It can contribute to depression, anxiety, lower quality of life for women. It can cause infertility and menstrual irregularities. Chronic inflammation. Excess fat, especially visceral fat, ladies, in the abdomen triggers inflammation that damages tissues and organs. Also, your heart has to pump through all that fat. You need blood in every single part of your body. And what does your heart have to do? It has to pump through the fat. The more fat you have, the harder your heart has to work. Hello.
It's completely healthy. I'm more healthy than the average thin person out there.
How? Prove it. It's technically possible short term, but it is very misleading long term. People with obesity can have normal labs temporarily, but this usually does not persist. What the science actually says is metabolically healthy obesity, otherwise known as MHO, is often temporary. Long-term risk for heart disease, diabetes, and mortality remains elevated. Fitness helps, but it does not cancel out adipose risk. Glitter and bagels. The source is European Heart Journal. Metabolically healthy obesity is not benign long-term. JAMA, obesity increases cardiovascular risk, independent of fitness, and then Lancet, diabetes and endocrinology. So again, blood work today does not equal risk-free forever.
Also, this isn't a health contest. I think it's important also to say that
only losers would say that. This isn't a health contest. Yeah, because you would lose. The winner takes it all. The loser has to fall.
a lot of people are fat and not healthy, and it's by no fault of their own. This is
Bruh. Where's my personal responsibility sticker? I wish I had it in here. It's in the front room. Yes, it is. If you are overweight or obese and you are an adult, it is your fault. You may have issues, you may have mental health issues. I get it. I did also. It is still your responsibility. What happened to you is not your fault. It is your responsibility to fix it. No one is shoveling food down your throat. And if they are, you should probably call the cops. It is your responsibility. It is your fault. Guess what? You don't have to be a backseat driver in your own life. You can lose the weight. You can get healthy. You can change your life. You can do a complete 180. This is loser bitch mentality. Hate it. Hate it.
isn't a morality game. That's what we're trying to say. Our fatness doesn't make us amoral.
It's not any
No one said that. No one said that.
fault of your own. You said that you're
No,
fat.
no, I'm saying that it's not a moral value. Our weight, like, I'm not giving out cookies because people are thin. Like you don't win an award because you're thin. Like, this isn't it's not a morality
Who said that? Literally no one said that.
game.
I think there's some
there are people who
cynicism,
are unhealthy, who are fat, and there are people.
I need someone, you guys, if anyone knows any of the producers of these shows, please invite me, because I'm making this into a tank top and I'm going to wear it. I am going to wear that shit there.
Who are healthy that are fat. I was a dancer on Broadway for 20 years.
It doesn't mean you're healthy. Holy shit. It's giving Tess Holiday. Would someone unhealthy have this dewy skin? Would someone unhealthy dance on Broadway for 20 years? That's irrelevant. We can look at you and see you're unhealthy. These people are fucking irritating.
Would you know that?
No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I'm just saying that there are more people that are bigger bodied that are not healthy.
I find fault with what you said because I feel like you heard us, but you kind of already had your opinion made up because
it's not an opinion, it's fact. It is fact if you are morbidly obese, you are unhealthy. Period, point blank, end of discussion. I just gave you guys a whole myriad of reasons why and what happens to your body being obese.
use the word defiant. And what I was saying is that when I go to the doctor, automatically before they hear anything, it's being blamed on the fat. I totally agree.
Why do you think they do that?
Because of society.
Because of society.
Not science?
Society doesn't shape doctors. You're not going to societal norms and saying, "Hey, how should I diagnose my patient today due to today's societal norms?" No.
It's nothing they
They're
study.
also medical
But also what
school,
I
there's a
think,
lot of
I
problems with
think
medical
the key word should be healthy. Like, do I want to be a size 2? No. Do I want
You don't need to be a size 2 to be healthy.
to be healthier? Yes. And I think you can be healthy and not be in what the skinny category is.
Yes, correct, but you're also not healthy being the 375 pounds that you are right now. Why can't they admit this?
And you can be a healthy individual.
Telling someone they're too skinny isn't going to make Big Pharma more money. Telling someone they're too fat is going to make them billions and trillions, and they're going to walk away great.
Well, I think that
Well, guess what? We don't have a skinny problem in America. We have an obesity problem in America. Number one killer is heart disease. The statistic likelihood of the 4 women on the right developing this is extremely high, simply based on how big they are.
overall, it's important to have this conversation because the things that she's saying are probably what a lot of people are thinking walking down the street.
Definitely.
And so it is powerful to hear how you can respond to that because people are watching this, and it's important to be able to know what goes on behind the scenes with people don't normally even talk to. I know
Dr. Daff is not rooted in reality. Sorry, girl.
my mentor, she is big, and she'll tell me all the time, yeah, should I go to the hospital? And they say, oh, my blood work is perfect.
For now.
Everything is perfect.
For now.
But if you look at her, you would think there's no way. It's like, how? But
there's a reason why we don't see obese old people. They die. And if you do see an obese old person, it's because they became obese after the fact. They did not live their entire life or any time of their adulthood being obese.
She is healthy. So it is possible, but it probably isn't the norm for it to be possible all the time.
Yeah, and
she just lost all respect. Not that my respect of her means anything. I'm just a random person on the internet.
Brittany, I would think that fat is more offensive than obese because obese is a medical term. So I was shocked that the whole row lit up. I was like, whoa.
I hadn't even
No,
heard
honestly,
that
Marcy, that was the first time I've ever heard that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was happening in the community.
But I thought that was like a way to like.
It's a lot of things, and I don't know how much longer. I think you could have a whole episode about medical and weight and like all the medical weight bias, and therefore, I think science is real, but doctors are not always trained in a way that they should be. And
I agree with that, but you can still look at you and know you are not healthy. I'm gonna stop.
I have a lot of feelings about that with my mother's own trauma, being a translator at 9 years old for her mother, who no 9-year-old should ever be told by a doctor, not only can your mom have sex, ask her if she can have sex. Number one, fat people can have lots of sex, good sex.
Why does she keep talking about, bro, this is fucking weird, dude. Why does she keep bringing this up?
But number two is that she was told, you tell your mom, a 9-year-old girl was told this to her mother who didn't speak English, tell your mom she's like a VW bug going up a hill with 9 people inside of it. They called her morbidly obese, and it was traumatizing to a 9-year-old who would then raise a child, who would then, for my entire life, try to be thin, as Kathy said. So
based on a...
Bro, I'm sorry, but the shit that you go through as a child, you need to work through it. You need to solve it. You can't be in your 40s. I don't know how old she is. She looks older. You can't be in your 40s still talking and thinking and being affected by what happened to you as a kid. You have to get through it. Otherwise, you just sit here and wallow decades and decades and decades later. Like, I get it. I've been through some horrible shit as a kid too. I get it. You fix it. You move on. You don't wallow in it and then become 400 pounds.
BMI scale that is junk science.
And
no, it's not. We already covered this.
It's not just fat phobic, it's also racist. It's affecting women of color, and fat people. So it's not just a measure of that.
It affecting fat people, first of all, it's kind of the point of it. And it's not racist for it affecting fat people. Being fat and being black are not the same thing. And you were, if anyone compares those two, or just being any like minority group, or being any, like comparing being fat to being gay, like you were actually fucking stupid. Like actually fucking stupid.
I'm happy if a BMI scale wants to be updated with the correct information to include.
What, and what is the correct information? Because guess what? It was updated and it added more people to being overweight and obese. Because back then people tended to be more muscular because they were outside actually doing things, working on things, having to move things around. Now we are over fat, obviously, and under muscled. So even more people are categorically overweight or obese. Yeah, did you know that? Yeah, fun fact.
Food fat people and people of color, great. But as of right now, it's not reliable.
So let's move
Waist to height ratio is, sweetheart, and guess what? You're not winning that one. I would like to see you try to argue that.
on to the next prompt.
Or even body fat percentage.
Thank you for that, ladies. I have been body shamed by other women more than men. On to the next prompt. Thank you for that, ladies. I have been body shamed by other.
I have been body shamed by other women more than men. I don't know if I can even remember being body shamed, really. When I was fat, I wasn't posting myself. I wasn't posting my body online, which a lot of people in the fat activist movement do. And they do that to try to make it seem like they actually love being fat, but they don't. If you speak to the people who used to post stuff like that and they're no longer in fat acceptance, they'll say that. That's how I know. That's why they're posting it. But yeah, no, when I was fat, I didn't post pictures of my body. And then my body now is fine. I know, I guess I get called sometimes on Instagram like flat chested, but I don't care. It's like, that's what happens when you lose your body weight. Like, that doesn't really affect me. So,
For women more than men.
Middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you speak? You haven't heard much from you.
Yeah, I mean, just growing up, you would hear a lot of times of RIP with my great grandma, but I remember and this was towards both, this is a good example of both. I have a cousin who's bigger, and I was always the skinny one, all our lives. I was the skinny one, she was the big one. She had a sister in the middle. My great grandma would take her bowl and give it to me and be like, and that's wrong on both sides, really. So it would definitely be like, the elders, mothers, and just be like, oh, you're too skinny, we don't want to fashion you out. And I don't, honestly, I'm gonna be real, like when people say that, I don't feel super offended. I feel like it's actually coming from like a motherly place, and like, but it still hurts.
Right.
Yeah.
Have any of you other ladies been skinny shamed?
Skinny shamed? Yeah.
It's like what she's describing, to make herself feel like she's somewhat like less than or not
Yes,
up to.
for sure. I feel like it's been
I like how all the skinny girls are crossing their legs, but none of the bigger girls are.
spewed as insults in some instances for me. And in all honesty, I never even really perceived myself as anything except for I'm just Amaya until I can remember vividly like coming to consciousness around the age of 9 where I started realizing I'm skinny and I'm black. I'm like, what does this mean? You know, okay, like I'm in the world now. Like, what are people thinking of me? So honestly, I think that women have contributed to those insults more than men, as I'm recalling. And I also think it just depends on what women think men want. That forms their like perception, and as time goes on, because I can remember when I was in elementary, middle school, being skinny was cooler, and then as I got into high school, like I'm old. Yeah, Kim K era, 2015, 2016, then like the BBL era start coming in. People are like, oh, it's cooler to be thick. So it just kind of just depends on like where we are in time, what the rappers are talking about. Like if Rob 49 make a song about, oh, I like thick women, I like skinny women, then the girl's gonna be making a story with that little piece of the line in there talking about I'm skinny or I'm thick. So it just depends on like, I feel like what's going on in pop culture and media as well, like that, and everything is male centered.
Yeah, I think the male-centered part is like where I'm in the middle because I feel like the women that has been forward about telling me about my weight, in their brain, they're trying to help me.
What kind of things were they saying to you?
Oh, you skinny. Like, what's wrong with you? Or why you eat so much but you're not gaining weight? Or like, I remember one time my mom was on FaceTime with my dad and she's like, oh, like, you haven't seen your daughter? Like, because he's not in this country, and he like looked at the camera, he's like, what's wrong with her? And I'm like, oh, shoot, what's wrong with me? But I think like men aren't going to be as forward about telling women about their weight, but they're definitely perpetuating a certain idea of what they want.
Yeah, and again, apparently it's okay to say these things to skinny people, but it's not okay to say it to fat people. Like if one of the other ladies, the bigger ladies, got on FaceTime with their dad and they say, oh, what's wrong with her? People would go, oh my God. But you say that to a skinny person, it's just like, oh yeah, whatever. It's so weird.
and the women are trying to help, or also just projecting whatever trauma they've kind of experienced with their weight journey growing up or pursuing other people. But I don't know who's more or who's more forward than the other.
In your life, this is about you.
It's kind of, I feel like the men expected me one way and the women were very forward with me about my weight. Like, I really have been labeled the skinny girl, or in school it was the boys, because they would be like skinny bones. And I'm like, damn. They would just call me all types of names. The boys would just make fun of me, but the women would just point it out. So.
Yeah, just want to say culturally again, it definitely was more women than men. They're like, "Oh, you're so skinny," but you know, it's they mean well. I think they're just very, very abrasive. It's usually the grandma, the mas, and the aunties. Like, you need to eat more. You need to eat more. But we get
Also, we're just not, and I don't say this is skinny people, obviously, but we as a society are not used to seeing skinnier people, because again, 74 or 77, whatever percent of Americans, US adult Americans, are overweight, and of that 40% are obese. And then of that, I think it's like 9% are super morbidly obese. So we are exposed to fatness all the time. So when we do see a skinny person, again, this goes back to what Lotless is talking about. When we see someone who is thin, but what we normally see out and about is really big, our perception of them, it's skewed even more because we are used to bigger. So the difference between those two people is even larger, rather than comparing her to like a normal, well, she's probably a healthy weight. I can't really tell from, I mean, she blends into the background, but comparing her to someone who, let's say someone who's like 5 pounds overweight.
teased in school as well. You know what I mean? If you're a teenager and you didn't fill out yet, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's wrong? There goes the flat-chested one or the one with no butt. So we go through a lot, which is why I side-eye the big girls sometimes, because there's this entitlement and cynicism when we talk about our pain and how we were
yeah, they act like the things that skinny people go through aren't as important, or that they don't hurt in the same way that being fat does. They are very entitled, and they think those feelings belong to them only, as if they're the only ones who can feel discriminated or talked down to.
Right? He's like, oh, I know you happy you skinny, you know, and it's like, okay, so I went through nothing because we're the preferred one in society. Right. We're not allowed to talk about our pain or when we got teased. So I'm like, if I say obese, the whole row lights up.
I think part of that though is you can be, I agree, both of us are getting made fun of, being made fun of for fat, being made fun of for being too skinny. And you can carry that with you, but it's not gonna affect the other activities. You don't have to worry if you can fit on a plane, or you have
personal problem. If you, oh my fucking God, these people are pissing me off. If you are eating so much fucking food that you have created more body fat, because again, what body fat is, body fat does not just accumulate out of nothing. It does not spontaneously combust. Medications also, by the way, do not cause fat to grow on your body. It can affect your hormones and how hungry you feel, and thus you eat more, but ultimately body fat will only produce onto your body if you are eating more calories than you expend during the day. So these people over here get to sit down, eat their McDonald's, eat their bonbons, eat their hot chip, whatever it is, their Panda Express, whatever. I eat healthy. Yeah, maybe 20% of the time. We know what you're eating. We're not stupid. Again, those of us who have had issues with food, overconsumption, we know. You're not sitting here binging on dry salads. Oh, I used to do that. Okay, I'm not talking about you. Now am I? There's always that one. Well, what about this? What about that? Go take your whataboutisms and shove them up your ass. If you are sitting here eating so much food to the point where you're growing adipose tissue that spills into someone else's seat, that is a personal problem. Take personal responsibility. Have some ownership over the actions that you did. Yes, if you're fat, if your body part, if your appendages are touching someone else's seat in a plane, you have to buy 2 seats. That is your fucking problem. No one else's. No one is shoveling food down your throat.
to buy an extra ticket. You don't have to worry if you can go ziplining with your best friends in Hawaii.
Again, your problem. It's not who are you going to complain to? The zipline company? Your wires are fat phobic. No, you're just fat.
2 months, if you hit the weight limit, you don't have to worry if you can take your goddaughter to the amusement park and fit on the rides.
Again, your fault.
You don't have to worry about you walking in behind your best friend at a club and he says she's 20, but she's $40. There's just privilege.
What? He said the big bitches gotta pay double.
That even, I'm not denying you got bullied for sure. But when it comes to, I can't, there's maybe 1 to 2 whole stores I can shop at a mall.
Again, you ate yourself out of the other stores. That is your fault.
Going with your friends places for shopping is like, do you want shoes or accessories? Like, or makeup, you know? So because I definitely don't want to deny that. I'm a very empathetic person.
Right, but when you say the but, right, when you say but, I know you got bullied, but you minimize what we've been through.
I feel
And
like
it's
she's
still
just
an
saying that you
entitlement and
should
a
acknowledge your
privilege.
privilege.
Yeah, there's a certain sense of privilege.
Yeah,
that
but
we
the
have
reason why I
after
don't.
I'm sorry, I can't stand the whole, oh, you got thin, skinny privilege or fit privilege. This is what happens when you don't overeat. This is not a privilege. This is just something that comes from the actions that you take. Shut up.
A very dark-skinned girl is going to get treated worse than a light-skinned girl.
Yeah, that's not the same as being fat and being skinny or fit. Sorry. It's fucking stupid. That's the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my life.
So you can say, yeah, I know I'm light-skinned, but a dark-skinned girl is going to be treated worse.
Right, but that's not my fault. If you can't fit in a chair, that's not my fault. Why should I feel extra sorry for your pain because you have a choice to fit in that chair?
I don't think some people that's not a choice. I would say more.
Yes, it is. The choices that you make every single day, every choice, no matter how small it is, it adds up. How you look right now, and I say this all the time, and this applies to basically everyone. Of course, there's a what about this, what about that. I'm not talking about those people. The vast majority, 99% of American society, the way that you look is an accumulation of the habits and the actions that you take. Things that you do matter. The little choices matter. You taking the elevator instead of the stairs, that matters. You circling the parking lot so you can find the closest spot to the grocery store entrance instead of walking, it matters. You choosing to eat a pint of Ben & Jerry's every single night because, oh, I just have a sweet tooth, it matters. You choosing a full sugar soda instead of a normal soda, matters. You eating an entire bag, family-sized bag of hot Cheetos and 2 tubs of cream cheese multiple times a week, Melina, matters. It all accumulates. What you do in secret will show in public.
Or on my end, it could be a choice. Even when I was super thin, I still had huge ass hips and was a size 10. Like,
you're not buying a second seat if you're a size 10. Stop being, this is stupid.
Small everywhere, but hips were still huge. Okay, so even if I lose 150 pounds, I know I'm still gonna have really wide hips. Okay, cool, whatever. But there's people, like I have a friend who has lymphedema, and she can work out, take Ozempic, do everything she wants.
I hear that a lot, but that's not the majority of...
Yeah, that's not the majority, and you can stop it from growing. Also, with lipedema and lymphedema, which lymphedema is usually caused by obesity and is exacerbated by obesity. There are still choices that you can make.
It's not a majority, but that is a possibility that that's happening. That's what's out there, that not everyone gets to pick the weight that they're at, or they went through a traumatic experience. After my mom died, I gained like 60 pounds because I couldn't go out of the house, and I gained weight from not eating. And
oh my God. I will say metabolic adaptation does exist, but it does not override energy balance. Now, do I feel bad her mother passed away? Yes, that is horrible. But don't sit here and say you did not leave the house and you were not eating and then you gained 60 pounds. No, what happened was you didn't leave the house. You were eating and eating and eating, which I get. I used to go to Food for Comfort too. I get it. But what happens is they go in the hinge restrict cycle. And then they have amnesia about the hinging. All they remember is restricting. Oh my God, I'm not eating. I'm starving myself. Oh, I'm gaining weight. What the heck's happening? It's because the other days that you are eating, the late night hinges, the secret car hinges, you're still eating too much food. Even if you do not eat for, this is just an example, 3 days straight. Oh my God, I'm starving. Oh my God, oh my God. The other days where you were hinging 10,000 plus calories a day, it still matters. Your body runs on averages during the week, through the week, well, technically every day. And if you are eating more food than you are burning, you will lose body fat. You are not getting fat by not eating. Starvation mode does not exist. I don't know if they're going to talk about that. If they do, I will touch on it.
That was something that also blew my mind, was if I wasn't eating, I was still gaining weight either way. So I don't.
It's because you're eating, you're just delusional. These people in food addiction and active food addiction, addicts are liars. They lie to themselves and they lie to others. They lie to protect their addiction. How do I know this? Because I was a food addict. Hello. And a little bit of booze, a little bit of a booze addict. I will admit. So you need to remember, when you're listening to these people, they are delusional and they are liars. You do not gain weight by starving yourself. I promise you. Because guess what? Actual starvation would not exist. People who actually don't have access to food, people, if you want to talk about privilege, people who don't have the privilege of having so many resources to the point where you are gaining body fat, those people are actually starving. Homeless people. When was the last time you saw a overweight homeless person who doesn't have access to food? Maybe they might be new in their homelessness. Sad, unfortunate, I know. Hate it. No, they eat just enough to not, actually wither away, but they're all skinny. They're all skinny. Oh, but starvation mode.
I don't want to minimize your feelings, but your experience.
I don't want to minimize your feelings, but continues to minimize their feelings and
Experiences out in the world are going to be much different and way more privileged than ours, and that's something we have to live with every single day.
Okay, well, you can lose weight and then you can also experience that privilege. You have to work for it. You have to make choices every day.
You don't have to feel bad for me, but you also don't have to perpetuate it.
And acknowledging that maybe it isn't a choice. And I think Aubrey
Yes, it is. Sorry.
Gordon, who's one of our
my
leaders in the
God.
fat community, she's a writer, she's a celebrated expert. She said that in fact, because we know that diets don't work. So
Yes, they do. It's not the diet that doesn't work, it's you that's not working. Hold on, let me guess. 90 to 95% of all diets fail. People regain the diet back. Watch.
you guys are experiencing your body in genetics the way we're experiencing ours. Nobody looks
No one's genetics is gonna make them morbidly obese. Like, come on. Okay, like, let's be serious here. Genetics may load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. It's my genetics. It's my genetics. No, bitch. It's a fucking Panda Express you're eating every single night.
at Chihuahua and says, "Why are you so small?" Nobody looks at the Great Dane and go, "Why are you so big?" We accept that
We're oh my god. No fucking way. First they compared fatness to blackness, now they're comparing fatness to dogs. This is what we call a false equivalence. Your genetics can influence your weight, but your environment and your behaviors matter more. Science says genetics account for 40 to 70% of variation, but your environment explains population level obesity rates. And your genes did not change in 40 years, but our food environments did. Fast food on every corner, DoorDash, Uber Eats, grocery stores having unlimited and fettered access to ultra-processed foods that are cheap and addicting. If genetics caused obesity, it would not have tripled in one generation.
animals are made in all shapes and sizes. But unfortunately with humans, we expect them all to be the same size.
No, we don't. We know certain types of people, like I said earlier, Samoans and Tongans are naturally bigger people. Do they have to be fat? No. But muscularly and their frame are more large. Same with like Hispanic or Asian people. They tend to be smaller. When we expect variation in human sizes and human bodies, we are talking about stature. We're not talking about fatness.
One size fits all. So I think that even just
I can't
today,
stand this
the
lady.
bridge for me is you seem probably like you're a trainer or in some sort of, you said you got hired for your abs. Number one, I have empathy for you if there's ever a day where you don't have your abs.
Well, I'm a lot more than my abs. Let's not get crazy.
Sure, but right, you mentioned that it's something that is a pride for you. It's something that you identify as being a part of you. And by the way, when I see somebody with amazing abs, I also am like, wow, like it's couldn't be me. Hasn't ever been me, even when I've tried my very hardest before my wedding, lots of things. But Aubrey Gordon states, and this is all based in science, that
No, it's not.
90 to 95% of diets don't work. And in fact, most people gain the weight back and then some.
Wrong. So this is outdated and misleading. I will say Sam at Every Size did a very wonderful video about this. I'll put a screenshot of that right here if you would like to watch that. This statistic comes from old and poorly designed studies. Modern evidence shows that weight regain happens, but long-term success does exist. And this is what I say all the time. Structured programs outperform diets. Now, first and foremost, if you are on a diet, let's just use keto as an example. If you do keto and you're losing weight, the diet is working. It is working. If you stuck with that for the rest of your life, you would be totally fine. You'd be golden. The problem with diets is that I love calories. No, the problem with diets is they are not sustainable. What do I preach? Sustainability. If you are doing a diet and you cannot see yourself doing this diet for the rest of your life, you are on the wrong diet. You need to make lifestyle changes. Ooh, 90 to 95% of diets failed. And how do you explain all the people who lost the weight and kept it off? Hello. There are millions upon millions upon millions of people who have lost the weight and have kept it off. High protein, resistance training, and behavioral changes matter more than doing a random fad diet. Number 2, let's say this statistic was real. It's not. Let's say that it is. You're still not going to try? You're still not going to try. You have a 5 to 10% chance of succeeding. You're still not going to try for your health, for your longevity, for your children, for your confidence? No? Loser bitch mentality.
So when you are looking at a fat person, you may also be looking at someone, and these are Aubrey Gordon's words, I want to be very clear about that.
I don't care about Aubrey Gordon's words. We are not Aubrey Gordon stans around here.
But you might be looking at someone that has done all the things. They have been dieting, they have been working out, they have been.
Yeah, but I'm not saying this to be rude or mean, but you're not doing it consistently. You're not doing it honestly. If you are actually in a calorie deficit, if you are actually working out, if you are actually managing your stress, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, if you are doing the things properly and long term, you will lose weight. The problem is people are not doing it like that. They're doing it Monday through Thursday. They're doing it Monday through Friday. And then, oh, it's the weekend. I've been doing great. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. No. Or, oh yeah, I've been tracking, but they don't track their sauces. They don't track their sprays. They don't track their oils, their butters, their nuts. Oh, the handful that they ate here, the little bites and leftovers from their kids. They're not tracking it. Oh, calorie tracking doesn't work. Yes, it does. It's you. I'm so sorry. It is you. Am I saying go on a diet? No. I'm not saying go on a diet. What I'm saying is you need to have actual lifestyle changes. The only way I was able to maintain my fat loss is because I changed my entire lifestyle. I'm a completely different person. I had to kill the old me to become who I am now. Are there still parts of me that, I was back then? Yeah, of course. But my habits are changed. My eating habits are changed. My lifestyle has changed. And now I get to live in a body that I am actually genuinely proud of. Can she say the same? No.
And you sitting at home not eating and gaining weight is also science. That you're starving your body, and so that body feels like it has to hold on.
Wrong. Absolutely fucking wrong. How do you explain concentration camps? How do you explain any type of actual starvation? If I put her on an island with just enough food that she does not die, she will lose weight. Your body does not hold on to fat. That is not how it works. If you are in a calorie deficit, you will lose body fat. You will do it. What happens? It's metabolic adaptation. This can lower your metabolism slightly. What happens is your body says, hey, we're not getting as much food as we want, so we're going to slow things down. We're going to make it so that you don't want to move as much. And these are things that you may not even notice. You might notice your step count go down, but you're going to notice, you won't notice, you'll fidget less. You'll sit still more. You'll lay down more. So yes, starvation can lower your metabolic rate, but weight gain still requires a calorie surplus. If you think you are starving yourself and you are genuinely gaining body fat, you are eating somewhere, you are drinking something, you are not accounting for something. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night and drinking a gallon of eggnog and not remembering it, but there is something there. You need to stop living in delusional la la land and have your feet grounded and planted in reality. Because the quicker you can be grounded in reality, the quicker you can exit this stupid fat acceptance, fat activism bullshit. This is a cult. This is a cult that wants you dead. These people don't care about you. These people don't care about your health. They want to keep you down with them. They feel bad about themselves. They feel bad about the things that they're doing to their body. They feel bad physically. Oh, why did my light turn on? Off. Oh, is that the same color? I don't know. They feel bad physically. They feel bad mentally. Crabs in a bucket. They want to keep you down with them. This is why I make the content that I do.
Right? So I feel empathy for both sides, and there is just there's genetics, there's environment, there's income, there's time, there's so many factors that will probably tell you why I'm fat right now.
Any of you ladies,
those all just sound like excuses. I'm sorry. Because I know people who don't have time. I know people who don't have a lot of money. I know people who have bad genetics who still do the damn thing. Why? They're rooted in reality. They're not going to sit here and be a backseat driver to their own life. Because guess what? You're just going to live like this until you die. Great.
here, have you ever confronted someone who body shamed you? What happened?
I had a brother.
On my second LaCroix. This one is the guava one.
Who's 2.5 years older than me, who probably now we realize he might be on the spectrum. And he learned to weaponize fat at a very young age. So I just heard, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat.
He's acoustic.
Entire life. And I had this moment when this photograph I had mentioned before about me being at a dance thing and like hiding behind the flowers and having a visceral memory of that. What I didn't remember was that I wasn't fat. I always thought I was a huge kid. When I saw this picture, I realized I wasn't. And then when I went and talked to my
I don't trust her judgment on that. I'm so sorry.
Brother about it and was like, you know, he was a kid also. He had learned from someone to weaponize it as well. But like that being built in you at such a young age, like does something to you. And of course he felt terrible. Like, of course he was like, that's, you know, yeah, it was just something we always said, you know? And I mean, I've confronted strangers who have said stuff to me on the street, and it's not pretty.
What kind of things would a stranger say?
Yo, people walking up to others saying anything about their bodies is so weird. That is so weird. Don't comment on people's bodies. Like like people who drive by and yell like, "Oh, fat pig." Huh? Why?
I had someone one time, I was walking really fast down Fifth Avenue trying to run an errand, and a guy was like, "Oh, you'd be pretty if you weren't so fat." And I, of course, was like, "Well, it's a shame because you ugly and you can't fix that." Basically. I mean, you get really witty because you've dealt with it your whole life. So, you know, that's one story. We all have many.
Oh, so many.
I'm sorry. Anybody on this side?
Very true about you get witty because I come from a big Latin family and it was always a party. If someone sneezed, party. So one time I was at a party and my cousin's wife, every single time she's like, "You're so skinny. You're so," like every time I'm like, it's never gonna time. I'm just gonna be skinny. And then one day I was just like, well, standing next to you, anybody's skinny. And she was overweight. She was a woman who was overweight, and I just got sick of it. So I was
What's
like,
the right weight? So when you say overweight,
oh my God, I can't stand this bitch. Over the weight that's healthy for your body size and your frame and your joints and your knee cartilage and your tendons, over that weight. This is such a like an intellectual dishonest, like a bad faith argument, because is she what's the limit for her? 400 pounds? 500 pounds? 350? 200? 600? 1,000? Bedbound? What's the limit? Are they overweight, or is she like, "Oh no, that's fine too"? Oh boy, you guys.
over what weight? There's another one for you. There's another one. I caught you. That's the other one. Overweight. It's like, well, over what weight?
I can't. Oh my God, this bitch is gonna make me actually fucking crash out.
I got her. Look at, I got her, you guys.
I don't like overweight. Okay, listen now.
I'm just saying.
I
it's
can't
just
say overweight. You
things we're
can't
used to
say.
hearing.
Nobody gave me a list before I got here. So
I'm just here to. I'm
Diet
here to
culture.
expose.
Diet culture is everything.
It's just little things that you don't catch on that you can say that implement other things greater than just that.
There's a thing as being overweight. There's a thing as being obese, class 1 obese. There's a thing as being class 2 obese. There's a thing. Is there a class 3 obese? And what are the classes? I know it goes up pretty high. Yeah, it goes up to class 3. I'm surprised we haven't given them a class 4. But yes, there is such a thing as overweight. And ma'am, you are many, many, many pounds past that.
That one thing.
Yeah, things that perpetuate stereotypes.
And we've been taught it. We've been taught this word, overweight. What does it mean? Now we're just at the place where we're thinking beyond what
Overweight is generally defined as having a weight higher than what's considered healthy for your height. Was that difficult?
what weight.
Do you think
Over
that
what-
makes you hypersensitive though?
Not at all, girl.
You don't think you're hypersensitive?
Girl, I wish Dr. Daft's producing team, if you're listening, I know you're not. You guys need to screen these people better. I'm so curious about the screening process. Are they just asking them about their experience? I think they should ask them about their communication style, if they are okay with being assertive and not tiptoeing around people's feelings, because the only one actually talking is this nice woman in the scarf. She is basically carrying the whole team. The other three are useless.
Oh no, we're in a conversation. This is a game, right? We're here to play a game, right? But what I've been doing is
No, this isn't a game. It's a conversation about your guys' experiences. So it is very telling that you think it's a game and something to win. Haha, gotcha. Haha, gotcha. God, this bitch is fucking irritating. What's her Instagram?
work, anti-fat work, right? So we experience a lot of fat bias, anti-fat bias in medical, in life, and whatever. So yeah, we're learning ways to reframe it. And when our thin allies learn it too, so the next time you hear someone use overweight or you want to say overweight, you catch yourself and you
No. Nope. No. We are not going to sit here and police our vocabulary because it hurts your feels because you are morbidly obese. You're not just overweight, sweetheart. You are morbidly obese. Sorry, not sorry. Who says that? The facts don't care about your feelings.
go over what weight. What is underweight? Oh, under
I'll be
what
honest,
weight?
I don't think I'll be doing that, but thank you.
The next prompt is,
There is also, yes, you are under the weight that is healthy for your height. If you look at Eugenia Cooney, you can tell she is underweight. There's a certain percentage of body fat that is healthy for a woman. That is 15 to about 30%. That's a pretty wide range. Ma'am, you're not at 30%. I guarantee you that. Looking at her, she's probably a good 50 to 65% body fat. Yeah, it's not good. Your fat just isn't some cute little thing that you have. Again, it is metabolically and hormonally active.
losing or gaining weight did not fix the insecurities I thought it would.
Oh, I like to put this back on screen when I am answering. This is about me.
The next prompt is, losing or gaining weight did not fix the insecurities I thought it would.
God damn it.
Losing or
There we go. So losing or gaining weight did not. So losing weight did not fix the insecurities I thought it would. It for me, this is all me speaking about my experience. It absolutely fixed the insecurity that I had because my insecurity was being that big and having a gut and an apron belly and having stretch marks and having my stomach and all of this be wide and protruding and my thighs being so big that they chafed until they bled. My arms being not toned, not lean. Yeah, no, losing weight absolutely fixed the insecurity that I had. Now, what I will say is losing weight is not a panacea for all things mental health and for body image issues. Sometimes I'll still have bad body image days. I think that's pretty normal and common, especially for people who lift. But overall, I am especially now, because when I did lose the weight, I was skinny. I didn't really have much muscle mass. But now that I took the time to grow muscle mass and lose the body fat, I love the way I look. I look good. I look good. I love it. I love it. So for me personally, yeah, it solved the insecurities. But for the vast majority of people, I would say probably not, because a lot of how you feel about yourself, obviously it comes from inside of yourself, but the confidence that you have about yourself, it also is created by the things you do. And I've done a lot of fucking cool and really hard shit in my life that my confidence is built there. Like you can say whatever you want about me. That's fine. I know who I am. I know the things that I've done. I've done shit in my life that people will never ever do. And that's what I have. And it's like, cool. That's where my confidence comes from. I do the shit that I say I'm going to do. I do it well. I'm a hard worker. I get shit done. I have grit. I have fire. I'm disciplined. That's it, man. That's it. And I have some nice quads to go along with it.
Gaining weight did not fix the insecurities I thought it would. Okay, anyone can check.
Recently, I've gained, after being in like a really toxic situation, and I lost my boobs. I used to have like really nice boobs, and they just like, now they're kind of like, they're all right.
They're perfect.
Thank you. But
A lot when I got fat, my boobs they were some mommy milkers, and now they are not. So when I go get my boobs done, because yes, I will be getting a boob job. Don't try to talk me out of it. What sucks about losing a substantial amount of weight is that some people don't lose their boobs, and oh, I wish I had those genetics. Unfortunately, I do not. So it looks like I have breastfed. I have never breastfed anyone. No babies in my life. At least for women who have breastfed, your boobs look like that for a good reason. It's kind of like a badge of honor in a way. But for me, I don't like what all that weight loss did to my boobs. So guess what? I want to get my boobs done. And I will be getting my boobs done. I have a financial goal I need to reach first, and then I'm going to get my boobs done. But I'm going to bring him a picture of what my boobs look like when I was fat. Maybe I'll put a picture, I mean, not like of my boobs, but comparison. It's like, damn, I feel like maybe 5 or 10 pounds came directly from my boobs. But yeah, I really like how they looked back then. But not anymore.
No, seeing them come back and like my hips and like I'm filling out my pants, I'm like, oh man, I can't get these pants up. Like everybody's like, oh, you got a little booty now. Like I feel great because my ribs were showing. That's like I was unhealthy. Like I looked like I was on coke or anorexic or something, and that's not what I want to look like.
Yeah,
so it did. I feel better now.
Yeah, look at the bitch in the green nodding. Oh yeah, so you are able to acknowledge when someone is underweight, huh? Funny how that works.
I've come across videos like on YouTube with women who are really skinny watching all these videos with like these drinks and drinking all these drinks and doing like some pretty unhealthy stuff to try to get bigger, and genetically they're just very skinny.
That's not how it works. It's the same way as this lady. She's nice. She's just very frustrating. It's the same thing as losing weight and gaining weight. I mean, obviously they're not the same biological processes, but if you are not eating enough, if you are eating less than you burn or the same amount that you burn, on average, you will not gain weight. It's mainly guys that this happens to. There are some women, of course, but they're like, oh my God, I eat so much. I eat so much. Yeah, you might have eaten 3,000 calories for 2 days in a row, but guess what? The third day you ate 1,000 calories because you were so full. You're not actually eating enough to gain weight. So yeah, you may see these girls slamming down these shakes. Yeah, that's one day. And then the next day they probably didn't. And then the day after, they also probably didn't. And then the next day, oh, here's 4,000 calories. Oh my God, I eat so much. I drink so much. I can't gain weight. And then the next day, they're not eating enough. It's the same thing, but on opposite ends.
But they were miserable, and we're doing some really unhealthy things to try to get bigger. And I think it ended up backfiring. So it is something that, I have seen. Anyone else on this side?
Yeah, I was on a get fat diet. I was on a reverse diet where I used to do everything I thought fat people did. So I would eat dessert after every meal. I would eat after 6 p.m. and after midnight. Like whatever I heard fat people weren't doing, I was doing the other way around. The Ensures, the muscle milks, the protein, you name it, I did it because I wanted to be, quote unquote thicker, right? It did because when I gained more weight, honestly I felt more confident. I felt I was, at my fighting weight.
Stop nodding. She's talking about being confident, having more body fat on her that makes her look not sickly, not getting fat like you. God, this is the only time weight gain I would celebrate it is when someone is underweight or skinny and they want to gain weight. I'm fucking telling you.
I felt more healthy. I felt stronger. So it helped for me.
Thank you for sharing that. What about on this side?
I just want to say I think the word thick keeps getting used too, which we love.
God, shut up. Holy fuck.
Right? Like thick is a great word. It's a great descriptor. But even earlier when you were asked, like, would you rather be thin or plus size? And it's like, well, is thick plus size? Because even in rap music, right, or in music at all, it's like thick is acceptable. But probably people would likely say we're a little more than thick. It's just like saying chubby. It's like I still kind of joke that I'm chubby, but I'm much more than chubby. We all know.
Yeah, you are like 3 or 4 women combined. You probably weigh more than the 4 skinny women combined.
I can see that. I once was chubby. But so anyways, I just want to say the word thick is such an interesting word too, because it's like there is kind of this right amount of thickness, that.
Yes, because it goes from underweight, normal size, like healthy weight, which is a spectrum. It's a big spectrum, to overweight, to like overweight and thick can kind of be mixed together. And then plus size comes after thick, but you can also be thick and plus size. It depends really on your waist. Let's be honest here. After that, you're in the obese category and then you just keep going. But yes, there is a line.
It's like you're not quite fat, but you're not too skinny. So, you know, body image stuff affects all of us. It's like if you're born and you have a body, you have likely been impacted by some sort of body image trauma. And so that's all the more reason why, like, I'm just so thankful to have been invited today, because it fires us up. And you're passionate about health and eating this way or that way or whatever. And we're passionate about, like, whatever.
You're passionate about eating. My phone's at 3%. It just started raining, and it's gonna rain for the next week straight. That's crazy. That never happens out here. Oh my gosh, our hills, we have some really nice hills out here. They're always dry because it's not raining out here. They are going to be so green. Oh my gosh, maybe I'll start trail running again. Yay.
It is that we're trying to represent. Just being accepted and respected in American culture.
Do you think that your insecurities are more from internal beliefs or from external pressure?
External.
Well, I think external pressure is what creates internal beliefs.
And I would say I have lost a lot of weight and been on the smaller size. I wouldn't say skinny, but you know, what would be acceptable in American society. And I had great confidence and I thought it was great. And then I got sick with cancer and I put all the weight back on and I did my battle, and I'm not as big as I was originally before losing all the weight, but I'm bigger now and I'm struggling with it in a different way, just not necessarily size. I'm more of, I just want to be healthy. I want to make sure I'm living, you know, forget what size.
Okay, but you're not healthy. Your size does matter when it comes to health. And I don't want the people on the right like, well, we can't tell by our size. Okay, if I showed them someone underweight, they would immediately say, oh yeah, she's unhealthy. So you can acknowledge that you can look at someone and tell that they're unhealthy, but we can't look at you guys who are sitting at 60+% body fat and can't tell that you're unhealthy. Give me a fucking break.
I don't strive to be skinny. I just want to be in a size that's healthy for me. And I think we have to start looking on the inside. You know, skinny girls have problems. We have problems. And it tends to be, oh, the skinny versus the fat girls. It doesn't have to be all that. We as women are our worst enemies. Like right now, I'm looking at, like, I fought for my life. I'm happy to be here. But now, okay, now I have to explain my teeth. My teeth have gone because of chemo. So I'm not only the chubby girl, I'm the chubby girl with rotten teeth. So there's backstories. And I think when you lead with love and lead with positive intentions, that goes back to even the word fat. It really is how you are leading, what your energy is giving off. You know, I think a lot of times fat girls get pinned as too sensitive. Like, you can't say this. I'm not one of those. It's say what you want to say. It's with your energy. What are you leading with? If I feel like you're doing it for, you know, the wrong thing, then yes, we have a problem. But if we're cool or whatever and it's positivity, no problem. But you do have to admit that there is some privilege. It just is. It's just, you know, you go with the race. It's anything. I think, you know, to say, hey, I'm a skinny girl, there is some privilege I have, but.
Again, that privilege is earned through your actions. You can also experience that privilege. You're going to have to do some work.
I also go through these things. I have these things. And I think that's all fat girls want. It's just a little acknowledgement that, yes, we understand you guys get teased and have body images, but there's doors you can go through. And if you want to get thicker, you can.
If you need to walk sideways to get into a door, that is a personal problem.
Add some pads on. You can put something in your breast.
And having allies that like help you get in those places. I would say, to be honest, 90% of my friends are thin. I actually don't have that many plus size friends.
Why? Why aren't you being inclusive?
And some of them have come to me and told me, like, you know, hanging out with you made me realize a lot of the things I said, or a lot of the things I was doing, a lot of the stereotypes I was, you know, perpetuating, or this and that. And there's just certain things like.
I mean, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason, though. Like, are we just gonna pretend that they're not?
Saying like, oh, like when you eat a lot of food, like, oh, I'm a fat ass right now. Or like when they were upset about a guy over another woman or something, they could no longer go to, well, she's fat, you know, that, because now they're like, oh, wait. Am I now saying my best friend's not valuable because she's fat? And they had to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not only did it affect them, but it also like affected the way they treated other women and how they talked to themselves about their bodies, and having more grace of being like, okay, no matter what my body is today, like I'm gonna accept it, I'm gonna love it. I have friends that are not obese or overweight.
There's 14 minutes left of this. I'm trying to get through. I'm tired.
Weight or whatever term you want to use, but they look in the mirror and they think they're fat as hell. And I have repeatedly told them, until you love the fat as hell body, you're not going to love and respect the skinny body, because it's going to be the same mind that took you to both places.
Yeah, I agree. You cannot hate yourself into losing weight. You have to love yourself enough to make changes. I get comments sometimes. People are like, no, I'm going to hate myself into weight loss. And it's like, if it works for you, I guess, but I don't think that is helpful. For me, it was just me being sick and tired of being lazy and stuffing my face and not telling myself no. I had no self-control. I had no sense of delayed gratification. And I was treating myself like crap. I was feeding myself crap food. I was eating really bad food all the time. I was drinking a lot. I wasn't moving. I wasn't getting any sunlight. Wasn't drinking enough water. Wasn't getting good sleep. And that's not loving yourself. Sorry. It's not. That is you treating yourself like a fucking trash can. If you woke up in the body of the person that you loved the most, how would you treat their body? What would you do? Would you feed it a bunch of alcohol? Would you feed it a bunch of fast food? Would you just lay in bed rotting all day, getting an average of 3,000 to 4,000 steps per day? Because that's what the average American gets. No. You're going to eat mostly whole foods. You're going to drink water. You're going to get good sleep. You're going to hydrate. You're going to go outside, get sunlight, get some exercise in. That is what being healthy is. That is what taking care of yourself looks like. That is what loving yourself looks like. And again, baby steps. You need to start small. You can't do all of these things at once. I don't expect anyone to. But yes, you have to love yourself into a healthy body. I don't think you can hate yourself into it. You can hate the habits and hate how you look, like that's fine, but hating yourself is just going to cause that cycle to continue.
And so I think having these things come out is like, okay, I want to know how I can be a better ally for people of color, or, I'm bisexual, for the gay community, any community I'm a part of. I naturally want to know, is there something I could do better? How can I be a better member of service? Because especially in our political climate in America, I feel like the only way we go through and go up is with community.
Honestly, it was pretty interesting for me in the beginning to listen to you all explain what adjectives that you like to be described as. And because me personally, I stray away from talking about weight or using that as a way to describe people in general. And I think that's really where it's rooted in. Obviously, we can talk about intentions versus intent and whatnot, but I feel like that's just something that should be eradicated out of society, is like using those terms as like forms of value or like to describe people in certain settings. Like it's one thing when you're talking about yourself, but even then, the way you talk about yourself, you show other people how to describe you, and it kind of just like gets misconstrued versus like, okay, well, I can say it, but you can't say it, and then it's just, but I just think we should just eradicate that from, having to talk about weight in such a way that we do. I just personally don't use those terms to describe anybody.
Well, it's appearance. It's appearance. We are very comfortable in our culture constantly commenting on people's appearance. Mm-hmm. It's something we all do. Celebrating, oh my God, you lost weight, you look amazing, you're thinner, girl, your butt looking good. We're always...
People don't really do that anymore. I think it's pretty well accepted and understood that we don't comment on people's bodies. I always say, if I notice someone lost weight, I don't say anything. I don't comment on it because I don't know how they lost it. I don't know if they're doing it healthily. I don't know if they're doing a cayenne pepper and lemon juice cleanse and they're shitting their pants every single day just to drop weight. I don't know, so I don't say anything. The only time I will say something is if I know someone is on a weight loss journey and they're doing it the healthy way. Otherwise, I don't say anything. You don't know if they got sick. You don't know if they're depressed. You don't know if they're going through, some type of illness or chemo or whatever it is. You just don't say anything.
Commenting on people's weight. You can say, I love that brown sweater on you. Gosh, your hair looks so gorgeous, parted over to the side like that. Still appearance, but maybe not body side. But even then, it's like, I'm so happy we're getting together. I love your aura. I love your energy. I love being around you.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I agree with that.
But the biggest compliment for me isn't that I look like I've lost weight, which is what most people...
low-hanging fruit.
People think it is, well, right? So it's like appearance.
To piggyback off of that, I would only compliment you on that if I knew you personally. I knew that was something you were working on as a person.
Because you're evolved, obviously. But a lot of people, it's just like saying you haven't seen someone in a year, and then you find out, oh my God, girl, you look amazing. Oh, I've had cancer.
Right.
Which has happened to multiple people I know, and they have lost a great deal of weight. And I mean, we all are in this society that has brought us up this way. So none of us are devoid of diet culture's impact on our minds and on our spirit.
It's kind of crazy though, how people can look healthier, even if they have cancer, if they lost a bunch of weight from being like obese, how they can still look healthier having cancer because of less body fat. That's crazy. But also having less body fat, I imagine, would be more beneficial to you. If you do have cancer, having muscle mass is especially important, especially if you get diagnosed with cancer. I do want to go over some of the positive effects of having muscle mass because, again, I don't think I have argued really for the skinny side. I really thought this whole conversation would have been different if I'm being completely honest. But So the very first thing is having muscle mass improves insulin sensitivity and blood sugar control. Muscle is the largest glucose sink in the body. More muscle means glucose is cleared from the bloodstream more efficiently. And this is why it's important to go for walks after you eat, because after you eat, your glucose is into your bloodstream. And when you're walking, your muscles need glucose for energy. So when you're walking, your muscle quite literally pulls the glucose out of your bloodstream and uses it for energy. Even a 10-minute walk is incredible. I highly suggest. It's good, also very good for your digestion. So why that matters is it lowers risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, which is you are at a very highly elevated risk if you are obese. Better blood sugar control even without weight loss. Skeletal muscle accounts for 70 to 80% of insulin stimulated glucose uptake, and resistance training improves insulin sensitivity independent of fat loss. Number 2, it raises your resting metabolic rate slightly but meaningfully. Muscle is a metabolically active tissue. While it's not magic, it does increase daily energy expenditure. I say it wrong every single time. I know I said it wrong in the live stream. Expenditure. No, because expenditure is like for like finance reports. Expenditure. Expenditure. Why it matters: easier weight maintenance, slightly more caloric flexibility, and it helps prevent metabolic slowdown during fat loss. Each pound of muscle burns more calories at rest than fat. Again, not a hugely significant amount, but a important one. And resistance training preserves metabolism during dieting, also eating enough protein. Third thing is it prevents against injury and joint pain. I know you ladies on the right know about the joint pain. Muscle stabilizes your joints and it absorbs force. Why it matters: less knee, hip, and back pain, lowers risk of falls and injuries, better performance in daily movement. Strength training reduces joint pain and improves function even in arthritis. Number 4, it improves bone density and reduces fracture risk. Muscle contractions stimulate bone remodeling. Why that matters: it lowers osteoporosis risk, especially critical for women as estrogen declines. Again, after the age of 30, our muscle mass and our bone density starts to decline. 1 out of every 2 women will break a bone due to osteoporosis. How you can prevent that is by strength training, building that muscle, building that bone. Number 5, improves cardiovascular health. Muscle improves how your body uses oxygen and manages blood pressure. Why it matters: lower resting blood pressure, reduce cardiovascular disease risk, and the evidence is higher lean mass is associated with lower all-cause and cardiovascular mortality. Number 6, probably one of the most important ones, at least for me, it preserves your mobility and independence as you age. Muscle loss, which is sarcopenia, is a major driver for disability. Ladies on the right. Why it matters: the ability to get up off the floor, carry groceries. You get to live independently longer. You can get up off the toilet by yourself. Strength training slows or reverses sarcopenia at any age. It is never too late to start. Ever. I don't care if you are 30. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, 70. It is never too late to start. Please start strength training. Number 7, improves mental health and confidence. Strength training improves neurochemistry and perceived self-efficacy. Why it matters: it lowers your anxiety and depression, which anxiety and depression are exacerbated / caused by obesity. Improved body image, independence of appearance, and resistance training reduces depressive symptoms. Number 8, improves metabolic health even without weight loss. You can become significantly healthier without the scale changing. Why it matters: blood markers improve before visual changes. Health is not equal to scale weight. Resistance training improves triglycerides, HDL, and insulin sensitivity without fat loss. Number 9, helps protect during illness, surgery, and aging. Higher muscle mass improves recovery and survival. Why it matters: better outcomes during hospitalization and lower mortality risk. Low muscle mass predicts worse outcomes independent of BMI. Number 10, it makes daily life easier. This one isn't done in a lab, but it's real. Carrying groceries, lifting your children, standing up without effort, less fatigue. Muscle is functional insurance, especially as you age. Muscle is not always about aesthetics, although it is nice. It is not wrong to say that you want to look good. Friendly reminder, if you want to lose body fat, if you want to gain muscle, if you want to get toned or body recomp because you want to look better, absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look better. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be fit and lean and toned and athletic. Nothing wrong with that at all. Don't let anyone tell you that there is. I'm giving you permission to chase aesthetic goals if you want to. Yes, health goals are more important than aesthetic, always. However, it is okay if you want to look a certain way. It is okay if you want to see your shoulders capped out. It is okay if you want to see your back muscles. It's okay if you want to see your quads sweep. Nothing wrong with that. So muscle is not about aesthetics. Again, it can be though. It is a metabolic organ that protects your health, your independence, and your longevity.
And how much room for a lot of us it takes up. And it's all about just like restructuring and deciding that amongst us, our friends, our people that we're with, or you as a person, it's like, I try not to comment on people's appearances. And it's hard. I was just at an event and they're like, write something in this book about this person without just commenting on their appearance. And it's like, if I don't know you, how? But I might just say, hey, Amaya, I love your vibe. I can tell there's a lot more to you. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you more. Instead of, I love your curly hair and I love your glutes. And it's just such an easy thing to go to. And fatness is always just vilified as the worst possible thing you can be. And so
it's not the worst possible thing you can be, but it is definitely bad. It is not good for you. And it is something people should strive to not be. Problem?
I think, yeah, that's just so deep.
I wanted to piggyback off of something you said to me and to her, just so I can be more clear and other people can be more clear when they watch this as far as verbiage. I thought, what's the difference between saying underweight or overweight and plus size? Because I thought thick was within the plus size realm, because if I've watched runway shows, the plus size model, to me, I don't think that they're fat. I think they're thick, but they're considered plus size, which is within that realm. So I don't really understand why overweight.
I think this is a stupid question to ask and is detracting from the point of this entire episode. I'm sorry. I don't think it's fair to sit here and just try to define terms and what is okay to say, what is not. Well, what is technically this? What is technically that? No, I think that's stupid. Sorry.
Is worse than plus size or the other, or the verbiage or the context.
Well, if you think about it, plus sizes are literally for sizes that are extended sizes from what general manufacturers make.
So
right?
when they say overweight,
so overweight is
over what
literally weight? Over what weight?
You stupid fucking bitch. Over the weight that is appropriate for your height. How many times do I have to say this? I'm saying it like she's here. You're also not overweight. You're morbidly obese. You are way, 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 way past overweight.
What's the weight that is the correct weight for someone?
I think they don't have a problem with the term overweight.
No, I just want to understand
They're just literally saying, like, what is, like, where do we as a society, like, what, how, when...
I own two clothing stores, so I'll just say...
BMI over 25. A waist to height ratio of, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I know anything more, than a 0.5? A waist to height ratio of 0.5 or higher indicates you are carrying too much abdominal fat and are considered overweight or at an increased risk for diseases like heart disease and diabetes. For optimal health, your waist circumference should be less than half of your height. None of their waist circumference are less than half of their height. So 0.4, so 0.4 to 0.49 is healthy. 0.5 to 0.59, increased risk of health issues. 0.6 and above, which is what all these women would be, high risk. It indicates significant abdominal fat. So there you go. That's what overweight is. A waist to height ratio of 0.5 or higher. Next.
Size-wise, fashion. Yeah, so plus size is a fashion term. So plus size is a fashion term for extended sizes of clothing. Most manufacturers make, let's say, like a 00 and to a 12 or so. For models, they start at size 8. So a plus size model is considered a size 8 or above.
Okay, I literally do not care about this.
And you get into the...
It's causing you
medical issues. That would be awesome,
so
except
if you're
it's not
500
based
pounds
on that.
and have no medical issues.
Overweight to the point to where it's defined by, I feel like...
Somebody tells me that I'm overweight, the question is like, what is the line?
I feel like underweight and overweight, medically speaking, is defined by the extremes. So if you're so overweight to the point to where...
No, it does not have to be defined by the extremes. It is on a scale. If you want to use BMI, 18.5 and below is considered underweight. 18.5 through 24.9 is normal. 25 through 29.9 is overweight. 30 through 34.9 is obese. Anything higher than 35 is extremely obese. It is on a spectrum. It does not have to be like, oh, well, overweight is technically like obese. No. Why are we hand holding these terms for obesity? There are defined terms and defined numbers for measuring body sizes. And I just went over waist to height ratio. So if you don't want to use BMI, fine. It probably applies too. Sorry. Again, 0.4 to 0.49 is healthy. 0.5 to 0.59, increased risk of health issues. 0.6 and above, high risk, indicates a significant abdominal fat. That is the scale.
This is causing you some sort of medical issues if you're so underweight to the point that it's causing you medical
That would be
issues.
awesome,
So if
except
you're
for it's not
500
based on
pounds and
that.
have no
But
medical
it's just like plus
issues,
size
are
and-
you
If you're 500 pounds, you absolutely oh my God, these people are so fucking stupid. Oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. For HR reasons, that was a joke. If you're 500 pounds, you have medical issues. Sorry.
Overweight is the
Hold
same
on. So
thing.
no. It's not. The problem is that it is not based on that. It's based on the BMI, which is something that was developed.
It's not just the BMI though, because you can use different tools. BMI, waist to height ratio, body fat percentage. If you combine all of those things, I guarantee you, you're going to be maxing out the charts on all of them. Take BMI out, whatever, throw it away. Guess what? Your waist to height ratio is going to be higher than 0.6 and your body fat percentage is going to be higher than 50 motherfucking percent. Shut up.
For farming. Right. It wasn't developed to be on one person.
What helped you to grow in your
It's for a population. It's for getting numbers for the population. And guess what? It works. It works.
confidence with the weight that you have? Whether you consider yourself as being really skinny and you couldn't change it, or being
Okay, I'm done with this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so over this. This is stupid. I'm so sorry. Let's read some comments. The one lady lost me when she compared being fat to being black. Don't piss me off, literally. I'm sorry, but claiming that the word obese is a slur now is insanity. Being able to fit on a plane is privilege? Just delusional, no accountability. This is such a one-sided conversation. Thank you. Right, everyone nowadays wants to do what about me over and over, my way or the highway. Obese is not a slur, dear God. It is such a simple concept, but people seem to fail at this. Yes, treat fat people like they are human, but you don't need to pretend it's healthy. Exactly. Saying I feel fat is not and will never be the same as I feel black. These are not synonymous at all. We cannot change our ethnicities. Yep. The big girl in red be lying. Literally. I've dated millionaires and billionaires. I forgot she said that. No doubt the millionaires. Yeah, that's whatever. But I know she's lying about billionaires. There's not a lot of them, and they are all into thin women, which is pretty true. Like, she gained weight by not eating. Girl. It could be perception, not helped by warping of reality. If she wasn't leaving the house, she was likely ordering fast food. You had to eat a lot less fast food to eat the same calories as a healthy, balanced meal, and you might still feel hungry because that food is not satiating. Coupled with not exercising, so she might have been skipping meals, but it was counteracted by a diet of fast food, not burning off those calories like normal. It's a recipe for bad depression and weight gain. Sounds like the death of her mother really hit her hard. She had a difficult grieving process. Of course, that is probably the real reason why she gained weight during that time, not proof of starvation mode. And that is exactly what I said probably an hour ago. She's lying literally about everything. Her saying she's more facially beautiful than average choked me up. Like, she's not an ugly girl, but she's no supermodel. That's hella funny. She is not running faster than them on a track. This is wild. I'm like, why does she keep lying? Girl, you're pretty, but stop lying. We're not dumb. Obese is not a slur. I'm 5'7", 200 pounds. My doctor said I'm obese. I didn't get affected. Got in the gym, changed my diet, dropped 20 pounds. I'm in way less pain, and my sciatica is not as apparent, but that's my personal experience. Spot freaking on. Most women should not be 200 pounds. Sorry. 99% of women should not have a 2 as the beginning number of their weight. A lot of men, actually, shouldn't really have a 2 in the beginning of their weight. Sorry. Unless you're Alona Maher, who is like a 5'10" Olympic rugby player. There's no reason for a woman to be 200 pounds. Sorry. I'm mad that the FAR girls are being so critically dishonest. This the discussion can't move forward without honesty. Exactly. The woman in green appears visibly triggered by the thin Latina woman. Oh, the scarf lady, to the point that it disrupts the conversation. Exactly. As a result, the Latina woman is never really able to get her point across. This exchange feels less like a discussion, more like an emotional reaction overshadowing what's being said. I wasn't eating and I gained 60 pounds, LMAO. You can never convince me that someone who is obese and claims to work out 5 days a week and meal prep is telling the truth. Yep, people grossly underestimate how much they eat and vastly overestimate how much they exercise. And again, you can still be morbidly obese and work out 5 days a week. If she does, cool, that's great. You're still eating too much. Thank God for the lady dressed in the brown scarf. At least someone said something truthful. Lady in the scarf speaking the truth. Plus size ladies are out of breath as she's sitting and talking, and they say their health issues are absolutely not connected to the weight. That's hella funny. I'm keeping that one in the back of my mind if I'm ever on one of these shows. It's like, why are you out of breath just sitting here? Let me see you walk from one end of the room to the other, and then let's put the mic on you and listen to your breathing. You're not healthy. Your VO2 max would say otherwise. If you can't tie your freaking shoes without holding your breath, you're not healthy. If you cannot walk up a flight of stairs without being winded, you're not healthy. There's a lot of denial from the plus side people, especially the lady in red. All of them, really. I was obese my whole life. It's a mental illness. Yep, it's a mental illness and an addiction. We are not designed to be obese, period. I gained weight from not eating. Girl, please. Absolute reaching for some of these women. Some of the women in this episode is wild. Diet does work a lot, but people do not want to admit it because they have no self-control when it comes to food. Spot on. Coming from someone who has suffered with not having control over food, 100%. I didn't want to take personal responsibility. I did not want to take extreme ownership. And then guess what? I got fat. The day I took ownership over my actions and the things that I was doing to my body, that is the day everything changed. That is May 22nd, 2020. Changed my life. I changed my life. The girl in the red claiming she has a PT, follows a meal prep plan, etc. She needs to ask for her money back. That's hella funny. It's probably like a health at every size personal trainer. And that's the thing with personal trainers. You can get your personal training certificate in a weekend. They really don't mean much. So do with that information what you will. Big lady, yeah, the big lady in the highlighter green is so annoying with her language policing. Exactly. I cannot stand language policing and tone policing. If we're having a conversation, or even people who leave comments in on my YouTube videos and they're trying to tone police me, I'm like, literally, shut up. If that's the only thing you have to say, shut up. I'm not going to sit here and change the way that I talk or the way that I communicate with people just because you don't like what I say. Talk about the actual conversation or the actual discussion, or go away, because I'm not going to change my language depending on what it is. I mean, I don't say anything like bad, but I'm not changing my language. I'm not I'm not going to not say, yeah, I'm not going to not say the word obese because you think it's a slur. No, sweetheart, absolutely not. This episode was a prime example of not everyone needs a mic. Dated billionaires? Plural? That's so funny. All right, you guys, that is all I have for you guys. Holy crap. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure it's still recording. That would have sucked. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I should watch these before reacting, but I don't know. Going in blind is also fun. Basically, the comments that I just read summed up everything that I think. I don't think the skinny women really talked enough. I don't think they stood 10 toes on really anything. I think there was too much vocabulary / language / tone policing involved. And I think people are just too afraid to hurt fat people's fifis with the truth and with statistics and with the facts. Facts are the facts. If you are obese, you are not healthy. Sorry. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you are subscribed. Please like this video if you have not already. Check out my channel memberships. Check out my merch, my habit tracker. This is the comment of the day. Happy REACTMAS day. I think this is day 10. I'm doing 12 days of REACTMAS. Me and Angelica will be going live on December 23rd. Not sure about the time yet. I will do an announcement. Make sure you turn on your post notifications because that's how you know when I post and that's how you know when I go live. All right, you guys, let me know your thoughts down below. And until next time, goodbye.